Go ahead and make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe to this mofo right here, Kelly from Why I Killed You TV. Alright, let's start this live right to freak down. Those of you, this is your first time here, I am Kelly, K to the E double L-I-E, from Why I Killed You TV.
But based on everything
I've
seen, this man...
Guys, it's about to get real weird up in this camp. Guys, I just want to make sure I check my audio, make sure everything is going. And those of you who are new here, guys, we're going to be talking about this crazy-ass case with this woman out in Florida who unalived a veteran. She unalived a veteran, guys, and everybody is saying that there is going to be some big similarities in this case versus the Karmelo Anthony case. Let me just check my audio, guys, and make sure. I don't see my doggone. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the audio is fine. So anyway, they said there's some big similarities in this damn case, guys. Those of you who are not familiar with the case, guys, we're going to get to it. Let's check it out.
Whatever argument that they got into, he chased her down. He approached her without ceasing while she had a gun in her hand, trying to avoid him.
Investigators with the Broward Sheriff's Office say Monday a woman and 62-year-old Bart DiGuglielmo were arguing over a parking spot when the woman pulled out a gun. Video provided by witnesses show the 62-year-old fall to the ground bleeding from his stomach area. The father of three would eventually die from his injuries.
New at 5, we are learning new details about a deadly shooting that broke out at a Walmart in North Lauderdale. The Broward Sheriff's Office says the woman who fatally shot the man at the store's parking lot is claiming self-defense. Tonight, the man's family is speaking out. CBS News Miami's Peter Dench is your reporter in North Lauderdale with what the man's sister had to say.
Wow.
I spoke off camera with a sister of the man who was shot. She told me she's upset. But she said her brother was a Christian man and was a decorated military veteran who had served in Desert Storm in the Army National Guard. The Broward Sheriff's Office has identified the man who was shot as 62-year-old Bart DiGuglielmo of Lauderhill. His sister, who shared this photo of him with us, told me he was a very good person who would not hurt anyone. She said he had worked as a nurse for 30 years. We discovered he lived in a community for seniors some 3 miles away from where the incident happened. PSO says he was shot in a dispute over a parking space outside the Walmart store at 7900 West McNabb Road, just before 12:30 on Tuesday afternoon. DiGuglielmo was transported to Broward Health Medical Center, where he later died.
Wow.
From Chopper 4, we saw a woman in custody in handcuffs. PSO could not confirm that this was a woman who fired her weapon, but PSO says the woman involved remained on the scene and cooperated, and she said she fired in self-defense. Those are the only details being released so far. The woman has not been identified. Meanwhile, BSO says this case is being presented to the Broward State Attorney's Office to see if any charges will be filed. In North Lauderdale, Peter Dench, CBS News, Miami.
This morning, the ongoing investigation into a deadly confrontation in Florida, a parking space dispute turning deadly outside a Walmart. 62-year-old Bart DiGuglielmo shot and killed.
Female shot someone outside in the parking lot. Both out there were fighting over a parking spot.
Authorities say the altercation started about 5 minutes earlier, with the two drivers fighting over a parking spot. DiGuglielmo then parked his car, partially blocking the spot, and walked into the store. Witnesses say the woman then managed to slip into the spot anyway. The woman is then seen getting out of her car, phone in one hand, gun in the other, yelling at DiGuglielmo, who appears to be yelling back. He's then seen walking toward her as she points the gun at him. She backs up several times, gun leveled. She retreats around a car. He follows. An eyewitness says the woman repeatedly warned him she'll shoot if he keeps coming at her. He appears to leave, but then quickly returns. And then she opens fire, shooting DeGuglielmo. Police then take the woman into custody. Officials say she claims she was acting in self-defense. Now that woman is no longer in custody and the shooting is under current investigation. Prosecutors will have to decide what charges, if any at all, are warranted. Really, guys, it's just a question of, is this self-defense or not?
Yeah, but unnecessary with a parking spot.
All right, let's go ahead and get this out the way. You decide to follow a woman who's pointing a loaded firearm at you
And you're a veteran.
around multiple vehicles
This is crazy.
all over a parking space, and then you get mad at the woman because you got shot.
There you go.
I want to repeat myself. You are dumb enough to follow a woman who's pointing a loaded firearm at you around multiple vehicles, and you end up getting shot because of it. We supposed to go boo hoo? No, stupid. Now I can see if you had a mental instability, mental breakdown, you weren't in your full mental capacity at the time, then I got to give you some grace because you were not in full control as to what you were doing. But you, as a grown ass man,
True
decided
that.
to follow a woman around some cars and pointing a gun at you to try to have a conversation or continue the argument with her. You, my friend, have let God's will be done. You done got shot and you didn't have to get shot that day. Stupid as hell. And then a bunch of you grown ass men and women on the internet running around saying she was wrong for shooting us. Really? In Florida, where the stand your ground statute is extremely clear as to what you can and cannot do. Really?
Guys, for the life of me, I don't know why he did what he did. I don't understand why you arguing with a woman over a freaking parking spot. And the weird thing about it, his life sort of kind of mirrors mine. Guys, I'm retired military. I'm almost his age. Okay, why in the hell are you doing that? You are very familiar with guns. You're very familiar with the pow. Don't play around. You know what they can do to your ass. Why are you doing this? This shit is crazy. Guys, if you want to get on the mic, guys, and tell me your opinion, the number is 682-812-9713. Guys, my contact information is here below. Guys, make sure to go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to this particular video on this particular YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Tell me what you think, guys. This shit is weird.
This woman did not have the duty or the obligation to retreat, but yet she did around cars where he followed.
Yes.
She created space, he closed the gap. What more can I say to this? You dumb as hell for getting shot that day, dude.
True that.
Now, I understand he is no longer with us. He died from his injuries. I get that, and life is very precious. But he should have valued his life way more. Clearly, he didn't give a shit about his own life, his own safety.
Totally agree.
How stupid can you be?
Real
In the
dumb.
conversation, if a gun is being pointed at me, I need to go in the opposite direction. Yeah. Stop preaching to these people on the internet how to get shot. This is the stupidest shit on the planet. Person is pointing a gun at you and you follow him. Really?
That's crazy.
I'm going to play, as I said, as much of this shooting as I can. It's a little risky because of the graphic violence. But here we go. Down there in Florida. Was he trying to harm her? Here we go.
A seemingly petty verbal argument over a Walmart parking spot escalated into a fatal tragedy after a Florida woman was captured on disturbing cell phone video, horrifically gunning down a U.S. Army veteran. What happened to Bart DeGuglielmo, a retired U.S. Army staff sergeant who was shot and killed in North Lauderdale, Florida? Here's what you need to know. Shocking video obtained by WPLG captured the moment an Army veteran was gunned down, seemingly in a petty argument over a parking spot in a Florida Walmart. The horrific cell phone footage captured the 62-year-old victim, Bart DeGuglielmo, seemingly exchanging angry words with an unidentified woman in the parking lot of the North Lauderdale store.
That's crazy.
At 12:30 p.m. Tuesday. The Guglielmo can be seen slowly walking toward the woman as she backs away, with the vehicle pulling out from where they were arguing. The two shoppers can be seen repeatedly pointing at each other during the argument, and at one point, the man puts both his arms in the air as they stood in an empty parking space. The Guglielmo...
Was he daring her? Was he trying to hug her to calm her down? Did he have that white air of arrogance? He's from New Jersey, my home state. So if you ask me, he was probably trying to speak to her in a way that just she wasn't accepting.
That's crazy.
To follow the woman around another car as she aims the gun at him before...
She is backing up. He's following her ass through several cars. He's following her. Okay, she is telling him, back the fuck up in so many words. She has the gun out and he is still moving towards her. This is crazy.
A single gunshot rings out. De Guglielmo, a New Jersey native and retired staff sergeant, can be seen clutching his stomach before falling to the ground. Following the shooting, the woman can be seen placing the gun on top of a car while waiting for law enforcement to arrive, with witnesses reporting her screaming and crying. Deputies in Broward County said the woman stayed at the scene, cooperated with detectives, and claimed she shot the veteran in self-defense. Officials have withheld the name of the woman. De Guglielmo was rushed to Broward Health Medical Center, where he later died of his injuries. A native of Hamilton, New Jersey, De Guglielmo served as a combat nurse, combat medic, and tactical communications expert, according to his Facebook profile. His daughter Amanda broke down in tears in a heartbreaking interview with Local 10, as she described her father as a, quote, good man, with whom she had recently worked on repairing their relationship.
I just don't think anybody deserves to lose their...
Coupon Nation, thank you for joining. You're right. It's all over a stupid parking spot. This is crazy.
life over a parking spot. He was a good man.
That's his daughter.
The Broward County State Attorney's Office said detectives are still carrying out their investigation into the deadly shooting and reviewing the cell phone footage to determine whether criminal charges will be filed against the shooter.
Okay, guys, we already got a phone call. Let's get this phone call in here. All right. Caller, how are you? This is Kelly from Why I Killed You TV. Who's calling?
Hi, Kelly. This is Shell. You kind of chopped my name up yesterday. I think you were calling me. I forget Carmen.
You're right. It's Caramel, right? I'm country. Give me a break. You know we can't pronounce all them words now. What's going on? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm like, oh my God, she is up. Well, I don't know what time it is, what state you're in, but I'm an early riser. And so I'm like, oh my goodness, she's on. Let me go on there, real quick. Touching my subject. You know what? A lot of people, a lot of reports failed to put in. And I don't know if you already know this about how it started. Do you know how it started?
All I know is over a parking spot. Enlighten me, please.
Well, what happened was he wedged his car so that he could get in.
I saw that.
Right. And she got in anyway. So he was from the very beginning. He was doing stuff. Now, whether you know what I mean. So my thing is that okay. So if you had to wedge your car so she to block a space so she couldn't get in, then he was never in the space.
So tell me this, was that the white minivan that was sort of kind of angled, and then later on it looks like another white minivan was somewhere parked next to her? Was that the white minivan?
I know it was a van. I believe it's white, but I don't know if it was his or somebody else. I think it was his. It was him because they said he blocked the space, but she was still able to get in. And then that's what infuriated him even more. But my thing is that he to me, he agitated the whole situation.
Exactly.
You know, if she had enough space to get in anyway, she obviously was already getting in that space, but he wanted it. So he tried to bully her.
Gotcha.
You know, so
tell me this, Caramel. I think the sister gonna be in some big trouble up in this camp.
I don't think so, because I think that they would have arrested her right then and there. Because the thing about it is he charged her. So the the moment he's coming at her, and she, and on top of what the other stuff that led to this, I don't think that she's going to get charged because he charged her. He ran towards her. Even she had her gun out, and he still ran towards her. It wasn't as though he was running away from her.
Okay.
He was charged. Yeah, so I don't think she's going to get it. I don't think so.
I think she got the complexion for the connection, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, she does have the complexion for the connection, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay. I don't think so because they got him on camera charging towards her. Okay. You can't run towards somebody even though they have their gun pulled and you still running towards them. They have a right to discharge their firearm.
Gotcha. Well, we about to see because they comparing this now with the Karmelo Anthony case, and I greatly appreciate you getting on here. And to answer your question, I live in between two places, so right now I'm in California. But girl, they got the fireworks popping off up in here. I couldn't get on the computer if I wanted to. So it's 1:22 a.m. in the morning. Where are you at?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in Baltimore, and it is 4:00 in the morning. 4:22.
Okay, you worse than I am, then.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys had a great 4th of July weekend. I forgot to add that in, guys. I could have got on here earlier, but guys, the fireworks was off the chain. So we just had Karmelo on here, and she thinks that this lady is going to get off. I'm not really sure about that, guys. The phone line is still open, guys. The number is 682-812-9713.
Shooter.
Video number 1. Was he trying to disarm her? He was wobbling a little bit. Well, was he sipping on some yak in the afternoon? Did he think he could just, talk to this black woman any old type of way?
That's probably what it was.
And to her credit, she pulled it out and used it. Now, whether she will or won't, be charged, I don't know. But when you pull out a firearm, you cannot fire warning shots if you have a permit or license to carry. No. Your life has to be in danger. And you have to shoot how to kill. And she did, okay?
I'm sure you guys have heard of the shooting that took place at a Walmart in North Lauderdale, South Florida that started over a parking spot. Bart DeGuglielmo lost his life, and the shooter, as of right now, has not been identified. Now, spoiler alert, this is a clear-cut case of self-defense, especially in Florida where they have stand your ground laws.
To me, it's a clear case of self-defense, but I think she's still going to be in trouble.
Now, this incident started with these two people squabbling in the parking lot over the space. DeGuglielmo parks his car in the street at an angle to block the spot away from the woman.
Crazy.
She was eventually able to park in the spot, I believe, when he went inside the store. His car was just in the street left like that. Fast forward, she is at her car getting out with a gun in one hand, phone in the other. Bart was not right there at this time. He had gone somewhere else in the parking lot.
Ooh, girlfriend was multitasking her ass off. Okay, she wasn't playing.
When she gets out, she speaks to some bystanders in the white car, and they tell her that the guy was still in the parking lot. Shortly after, Bart comes from somewhere else in the parking lot to approach the woman. He's advancing toward her while she has a gun drawn on him. She's retreating away from him.
There you go.
And he is slow speed chasing her, walking her down through cars. This goes on for a while, and the whole time she's still pretty much near her car. Now, where the story ends is when she's at her car door, he's advancing toward her, and then she shoots him in his stomach. He falls on the ground and he dies. The police get there. They take her into custody. She cooperates, of course. She has since been released. And as of right now, there are no charges. And there shouldn't be any charges because this is a clear-cut case of self-defense. What more do you want? I'm giving you warnings. There's not much audio heard in the video, but you heard her say clearly, walk away. And you can see from her body language, she does not want to interact with him. She wants to escape him. He is refusing to respect these wishes. He advances upon her and he gets shot. The moral of the story is don't advance on someone with a gun on you.
But right off the bat,
guys, we got another caller up in here. Caller, how are you? This is Kelly from Why I Killed You TV. Oh, I don't know what happened to the caller, guys. I thought we had caller. You can call me back. I don't know what happened. We'll listen to the video until the caller calls back.
let's just start from the beginning. You know, obviously, this is all over some sort of parking spot. We don't know what transpired before the video starts playing. But from the video, we see that the woman gets out of her car already holding a gun, already brandishing a firearm, right from the get-go. And we know that the man approaches her from off camera. So what does that tell us? That tells us that if she was afraid for her life, if she felt the need that she was going to have to kill someone in order to save herself, right? If she was really afraid and really thought that she needed to defend herself, she could have just driven away right from the beginning. So right from the start of this story, the woman already made a huge mistake, if you ask me. Because if you're fearing for your life, why not just drive away? And we know from the video that the guy had to approach her vehicle. So at any point in time, when the guy is outside of his vehicle, she could have been inside of her vehicle, leaving the scene, getting away. So right there, she already started off wrong. Because
why we always got to be the one that leave? Why we always got to be the one to leave? Karmelo Anthony was on the damn bleachers chilling for 9 damn minutes, and he was approached by 2 bully ass boys. He was asked to leave, and everybody sitting up there, well, why didn't he just leave? Okay, he didn't leave because he didn't fucking want to leave. Okay, she didn't want to leave. Evidently, it was a blue light special up in the damn Walmart. I don't know what was so important up in the damn Walmart, but she didn't want to leave either. And guess what? She did not have to leave. Okay, this is crazy.
as you got out of your car with a firearm instead of driving away, you already escalated the situation, and instead of removing yourself from the danger that you...
She escalated the situation. How the fuck that is? How did she escalate the situation? She is backing up from him and pretty much telling him, you know, back away. Okay, she's backing up and he's constantly going towards her, but she's escalating the situation in his opinion.
Said you were in, or that you felt you were in, you decided to stay there.
And
she had the upper hand. Because not only did she have the firearm and the man was unarmed, even though she had no way of knowing that, but she also had the opportunity to get into her vehicle and drive away while the guy was no longer even in his vehicle.
And so did he. He had the opportunity to get back in his damn vehicle and drive the hell away. Why it always got to be us?
Well, he was already out of the vehicle, I guess, approaching her. But as we see in the footage, he approaches her as she has her gun out. No matter how you look at this situation, if you think this is murder, or if you lean towards defending the woman, at the end of the day, we have to be honest with ourselves, and I'm always going to be honest here on this channel. Approaching someone who has a gun, especially if it's pointed at you, is never a good idea. It's a very bad idea.
There you go.
It's the dumbest idea. The dumbest decision you could ever make is to continue to approach someone when they have a gun out pointing it at you.
Okay, that's the first thing you said that I'd agree with your big ass about. The whole thing in a nutshell, guys. Type a 1 in the chat if you think this was self-defense. Type a 1 in the chat if you think this was self-defense. and type a 2 in the chat if you think that this was murder. And I'm sorry, caller, I don't know if I hung up on you or whatever the hell, but please go ahead and give me a call back. Guys, the number is 682-812-9713. The phone line is open.
Michelle, I'm going to bring you into the conversation. I think this is going to be the next big deal. I think it
Me too.
Falls right in with the Karmelo Anthony story. I have some mixed feelings in terms of, hey, if I'm a man, I'm not walking up on a woman, armed or unarmed. Whether she's armed or unarmed, my instincts as a man are not, particularly I'm bigger than her, and I look for reasons to avoid conflict. I'm not trying to win conflict. I'm not trying to settle conflict with strangers or whatever. I'm trying to avoid conflict. This man walking up on her, I think, is a mistake. I think her pulling the trigger on him is a mistake. I'm not sure if his mistake.
Thank you so much, Caramel. Yeah, this was self-defense all day long. But Caramel seems to think that this lady gonna get off. I don't think so. I think she about to be in some big, big trouble. Guys, type a 1 in the chat if you think this was self-defense. But if you think this was murder, guys, go ahead and type a 2.
Justifies her mistake. I don't understand. And she was walking backwards.
She was.
I don't understand how the dispute got to a point where a gun could be pulled, particularly when the other person is unarmed. But this is a messy situation. I don't understand why this man was trying to walk this woman. And look, she may have been talking crazy. She may have called him every name in the book. Who knows? But I'm just not walking down a woman. And then when I add on that she's got a gun, I'm like, this person's way too illogical for me to be trying to walk up on. So anyway, Shamika, your thoughts.
Yeah, Jason, I've watched this video, different videos several times, and I think I have more questions than I do opinions right at this point. But I can say I have to agree with you. I don't think this man has watched enough videos. Maybe he's not on social media. Why would you approach anybody, especially when you see a gun, especially someone black right now, especially a black woman? I just don't understand what he was thinking that he would actually see the gun and just continue to walk towards her.
That's crazy.
But I have so many questions, like, what did she say to the car that was there before they pulled out? Why did she get out of her car with the gun? What happened prior to the video? There's just so many questions because I can't imagine just hopping out of my car with a gun over a parking space unless something else transpired before we actually saw or the video started. I have so many questions. I don't know if I think whatever was being said justifies him being shot. I don't know if he was threatening her. Was he threatening to kill her? Did he make her feel like her life was in danger? I honestly don't know, but there was a case, Jason, back in 2018. Michael Draker actually shot Marquise McLaughlin after Marquise came out, after Michael was arguing with his wife or a girlfriend or whatever. He pushed Michael Draker, and Michael Draker then pulled out a gun and shot him. Initially, there were no charges filed. Michael Draker said he was defending himself. He said it was self-defense, and this was after a hard push. The jury said no, it's not self-defense. So there's so many things, so many details we need before I can really feel like I can have an opinion. But I just don't understand what.
Okay, guys, we got another caller. Let me try not to screw this up. Caller, this is Kelly from Why I Killed You TV. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, who's calling?
I'm Rose.
Okay, Miss Rose, what's going on? How you feel about this situation?
Well, to me, they keep saying over a parking spot. It was not over a parking spot. It was him approaching her. And also, when he was coming towards her and she was backing up, he seemed to be disoriented to me, staggering to the side. I don't know, maybe walking like Walking Dead or something. I don't know. But self-defense all day long.
So you think that he was like the aggressor, that he was, what do you think he was saying to her? Because I don't think there was too much audio involved.
Now, I couldn't hear anything but what she said. But if you are, somebody is backing away from you, that means they are in fear of what? Their lives. So he was the aggressor.
I totally agree with you. Now, what do you think is going to come down the pipe for her? Is she going to be in trouble or what? Or that's going to be the end of that?
It's a tricky situation. We don't get justice.
True that.
Until we do what we are supposed to be doing, and that's eye for an eye. I'm sorry to have to say that because I'm not a racist person, but eye for an eye, and hit them pockets, hit their offsprings. You know, they doing our offsprings dirty.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah, that's so sad. Do you have anything else to say?
No, thank you for letting me come on and speak.
All right, thank you so much for getting on here. I greatly appreciate it.
All
right, bye-bye. All right, guys. So Rose doesn't think that she gonna get in trouble, and then we had Karmelo on here. Don't think she gonna get in trouble. I think later on down the pipe, guys, she is going to get in trouble. Sadly to say, because I believe that this was self-defense all day long. And guys, we know how arguments go when people arguing over a damn parking spot. Okay, they roll down the window and y'all talking at each other, yada yada, whatever the case may be. Yeah, I don't know what started it. Okay, Rose said he might have been sipping on some syrup. Who knows? Maybe he started the 4th of July weekend off a little too early. Who knows?
Happened that you would actually take a man's life.
I looked up the Michael Drecker case as well, and I couldn't fully grasp. And you just gave an explanation. Michael Drecker was arguing with his own girlfriend, and the Marquise or he was arguing with Marquise's girlfriend.
Yeah, he was arguing with Marquise's girlfriend. She had pulled into a handicapped parking space, and so Micah got out to argue with her over that parking space, which made him illegally park just to pull up to argue with her. Marquise saw him arguing with her and came out of the convenience store, pushed him, shoved him to the ground, and then Michael pulled out a gun and shot Marquise, and he actually stumbled back into the convenience store where he died. And initially there were no charges filed because Michael tried to say it was self-defense after being shoved to the ground. And the jury, later they brought charges. He was arrested and the jury convicted him and gave him 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll go again. I'll go Scott Adams again. Like, I'm just not confronting some black woman. And I know that's
Not at all.
2018, but I'm just not. Some strange black woman I don't know.
True that. Dangerous.
Some strange white woman I don't know.
True
I'm
that.
not confronting, I'm not arguing with women that I don't know. And hell, I don't even argue with women I do know. So it just is what it is. And so this Michael sounds like he's doing too much. And I don't, if I'm a man and I come out and I see there's a man arguing with my woman, I might push them. I might, be like, hold on, man. I certainly don't argue with strange women. I try to avoid arguing with any women because it could. So I don't blame Marquise for being like, man, you crazy, and stepping in. And so I get that case. This here, because, and I will say this I'm not saying this to be inappropriate, Just telling you factually. When I first watched this video from South Florida, I couldn't make out if it was a man or woman. It wasn't until I got to the news story
Come
that I
on
was
now.
like, "Oh, this is a woman." They're telling me it's a woman, and I, because she's in a t-shirt, she's not dressed like a woman.
Okay, guys, she got some sweats. She got some sweats on. I think she had a hat on. Come on now, he doing too much. What do you mean you didn't realize that she was a woman? She looked like a woman to me. Okay,
And
the hips alone told me that she was a woman. Okay, don't play.
when I finally got a close up, it's still like, okay, I need a doctor to do a rendering.
Oh, you're doing too much.
And so the doctor has ruled it's a one. So maybe he thought he was walking up on a man.
No,
I don't know, but certainly I would think by the sound of her voice, and I think this went on maybe 60 seconds or so before a shot was fired. I think he should have figured out that he was dealing with a woman and he's dealing with an armed person. Yeah, someone's pulled a gun over a parking lot dispute. That should be an automatic head the other direction. This person's a nut job.
Exactly.
I
So-
think that him.
Is he trying to say that he is the nut job or she is the nut job? I'm getting confused.
Maybe his military service made him think, he should fear nothing. And again, not trying to blame him. If I had to bet today, or if I had to render an opinion today, I would lean towards there needs to be charges brought here. You can't shoot somebody over a parking spot. But I don't lean that way real strongly because, again, this man's walking up on a woman.
Threatening.
So I can't wrap my mind around it.
Recently, we have a case where we have a video of an Army veteran being shot in a Walmart parking lot over a parking spot. And some are saying it's self-defense, some are saying it's murder. So we're going to go into it. So before we get into the facts, let's just understand the jurisdiction we're in. We are in the jurisdiction of Florida, which is, by all intents and purposes, a stand your ground state. Now, I'm going to let the gun expert under me, which is Kurt, explain what that means in relation to this case.
Right. So some states are jurisdictions in which you're required to retreat. So if you're confronted with a deadly situation or a threat, you're required to take every possible effort to retreat before you can use deadly force. Florida is very much not that. They're perhaps the most extreme the other way around. It's like you don't have any duty to retreat. So in Florida, you can be anywhere that you have a right to be, and you can go anywhere you have a right to go. And regardless.
So in all actuality, she didn't have to retreat, even though she was retreating. And it seems like she was warning his ass, but he kept coming at her. Okay, so you can't tell me that this was not self-defense.
To whatever threat, right? Just because some guy's mad at you or yelling at you or even threatening you, you still have your rights. So you have a right to go where you want, be where you want, and stand your ground and not retreat. So that's Florida for sure, in spades.
So now you have a lot of people saying that the person could have stayed in the car like George Zimmerman, or could have done this, or could have
the
done
video
that.
and then just have that as a baseline.
Well, it's just explaining out the law. So because the reason why usually when you do legal analysis, you do it in what's called an IRAC form, issue rule application inclusion. So if we show the video, it kind of it lets people watch it, but then we'll give them the rules after. So right now we're just laying out what the rules are in Florida, so they can, while watching the video, process it in real time, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So that's why I'm asking Kurt, because Kurt's really good at the rules. So we'll go over the elements of self-defense now before we get into the facts of the video.
Yeah. Now that critically, however, doesn't modify the rules when it actually comes to the usage of self-defense. That just tells you that where you can be, right? So I don't have to retreat. So if I'm in a Walmart parking lot and there's a guy who's really mad and yelling at me, right, and I'm in my car, right, I can get out of my car because I have a lawful right to get out of my car, right?
And that's what she did.
That's kind of a little bit separate and apart from when I can actually pull the trigger. When you can actually pull a trigger, now you're going
That's what she did. She got out of her car, just like he said.
back to core self-defense, where you deal with issues like proportionality, reasonableness, imminence, and other factors that are relevant to self-defense analysis.
So let's start with the self-defense analysis. So we are all looking, when we're looking at this incident, we're going to look at the 5 core elements of self-defense. Now, obviously, every state has differences, which we'll talk about, like stand your ground. But here are what we're going to be looking for when we look through this particular analysis. First, reasonableness, the belief that the force necessary must be reasonable under the circumstance. Now, what I mean by reasonable, in the Karmelo Anthony case, a lot of people were saying, well, it was reasonable for Karmelo Anthony to be scared, but it's not based on whether he believes it's reasonable or not. It's whether an objective person, yes, a reasonable person believes that that amount of force is reasonable under that particular evaluation. So just because the person may be afraid, that doesn't count. It's whether, if you put essentially a reasonable person in their position, would that make these circumstances reasonable? So the question is not whether the person was scared, but whether a reasonable person in that situation would see a threat. So that's what we're looking at. We're talking about.
And in the Karmelo Anthony case, guys, any reasonable person in their right damn mind could see that was a damn threat. You got 4 big motherfuckers coming at you. 2 of them a set of twins, 6'1", 220 pounds. That is a freaking threat. Why that young boy got 35 years is unbeknownst to me.
And
they don't necessarily have to be right. It just has to be reasonable. So
yes.
if I don't know, they saw something in their hand they believed to be a weapon, and it was reasonable for them to believe a weapon, and they acted in self-defense, but it wasn't a weapon, that would count because the reasonable person would believe it was a weapon, despite the fact it wasn't, took action based on that belief, and so that's reasonableness.
Exactly. That's what you're looking for. And also reasonableness caveats all the other elements too. So innocence, the person claiming self-defense, which in this case is the shooter, usually cannot be the initial aggressor.
Thank you, Nelson, for joining again. I greatly appreciate it. Hey, guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Push that like button, guys. It helps with the algorithm. Guys, if you want to get on the mic is still open, 682-812-9713.
They can't start the fight. And essentially, if you start the fight, you can't claim self-defense, which I think is simple. Like, we don't really go into that. That just makes sense.
Easy enough.
Yeah, it's reasonable. Imminence. Now, imminence kind of goes, imminence is not, I can shoot you for a threat last week. You threatened to kill me last week and I can shoot you a week later, right? It has to be kind of happening in the moment. And again, imminence is dealt with reasonableness too. It has to be reasonably imminent. You can't say, can't let the person turn their back and walk away and shoot them, right? It has to be imminent. A threat has to be happening now or about to happen. Now, again, also people must understand too. You don't have to be shot before you can shoot back. Right. You don't have to, the person doesn't have to pull the gun out and point it at you before you shoot back. As long as you can articulate that it's reasonable that you believe the threat was imminent, then you can respond to that threat appropriately, right?
Yeah. Yep.
The next, proportionality. This is our Karmelo Anthony, what we were just talking about earlier. We were talking about Karmelo Anthony. With this proportionality, you can't, if somebody pushes you.
Thank you, True Seeking, for participation. I greatly appreciate it.
You can't shoot them. If someone spits on you, you can't stab them. Proportionality.
Ooh, if somebody spit on me, I can't make no promises. If somebody spit on me, I can't make no promises what's about to go down.
It's generally, you can't just go overboard. And this is where you can come into some imperfect self-defense arguments, but this simply is proportionality. You can only use proportional force to stop the threat.
You can only use deadly force in response to deadly force.
Correct. And then the last is avoidance and retreat. Now,
which you could just ignore.
Well, it all depends because in a stand your ground like Florida, you could just ignore it. In a stand your ground field like in Florida, if someone's coming at you and you can stand your ground and say, I'm not moving, and if they continue to advance upon you, it kind of gives you 2 bites at the apple. Number one, that shows that aggression, and number 2, it allows you to use force to repel that attack. So you don't have to go anywhere. you can, as it says, stand your ground. We have some complication of its own anyway. So, Eric, do you have any issues? What do you think about how the law kind of stacks out? Do you think it's reasonable?
Sure. I think that the stand your ground, Nate and I were talking about this on the phone earlier. I feel like there's the duty to retreat question versus stand your ground question. And to me, the ideal would be stand your ground in terms of you have every right to stand your ground, but it would be advisable to retreat if you can, but not necessarily mandatory.
Exactly. So let's start with some of now let's go into what happened. So here is ABC's Good Morning America. We're going to listen to what they had to say about the situation. Minute 15-second clip. And then we have other videos too that we can watch that goes a little deeper into it and gives us a little bit more context. So here we go. Good Morning America. Start.
This morning, the ongoing investigation into a deadly confrontation in Florida, a parking space dispute turning deadly outside a Walmart.
He's moving back.
Bart DeGuglielmo shot and killed.
Ooh, that's your ass.
Someone outside in the parking lot. Both out there were fighting over a parking spot.
Authorities say the altercation started about 5 minutes earlier, with the two drivers fighting over a parking spot. DeGuglielmo then parked his car, partially blocking the spot, and walked into the store. Witnesses say the woman then managed to slip into the spot anyway.
All right. So this is all little over a parking spot. They're fighting over a parking.
So that's what he mad about, because he moved his little minivan where he thought she couldn't get in, and then her ass slipped in anyway. So I don't know if he came back out or whatever the case may be. So he mad in a mofo.
Spot. He parks in a way to try to stop her from parking in the spot, and she parks her car there anyway. So that's what all this is about.
Nelson, right? Over a parking spot. This is crazy. I'm not laughing because this man lost his life. I'm just saying this shit is senseless. But you cannot tell me that this is not self-defense. But this lady about to get in trouble.
Right. Something very petty, I'm assuming.
The woman is then seen getting out of her car, phone in one hand, gun in the other, yelling at DeGuglielmo.
Yeah, we're not off to a good start. Pause. We're not off to a good start for the woman, because if she gets out of the car and she already has a gun in her hand. That's a presentation of a deadly threat at that point. See, this is a problem for her self-defense claim. Like if she had the gun like just in her belt or something, that's might be one thing. But if she literally has it in her hand, that's presentation of a deadly threat. So she kind of needs the deadly threat in order for that to be justified, she kind of needs the justification when she gets out of the car.
Well, why isn't it a deadly threat when you got this big ass man coming towards you? That's not considered a deadly threat. That's crazy.
Yeah, is
well, because otherwise,
a little bit, Kurt, is that what you're saying? Is it's an escalation in of itself to have a gun hanging in your hand at your side like that?
Yeah, it's a presentation of a deadly threat, because you got to think about this from every person's point of view, right? Mm-hmm. So from the point of view of the guy, right? If he sees a person with a gun in their hand, that seems a lot like an imminent threat of death to me. For him, right? The reasonable person would view a woman with a gun in their hand, low ready or not. It's like, oh, that's an imminent threat. There's the gun. It's right there. It's like, that's an imminent threat. So,
okay, at this point, I agree. At this point, if we freeze time, but there'll be more context as we go. Is that where you're going, Nate, or no?
No. I was going to say I agree in part and disagree in part, because in states like Florida and Texas, there's case after case that's showing having a weapon, for instance, even if it's holstered but not pointing the weapon at someone, is essentially there's a legal distinction between me pointing a weapon at you and me just having a weapon on me, because this is a constitutional carry state. So brandishing a weapon, which I think is what you're saying, is one thing, but pointing a weapon, I think that's another thing. So I would say here, just by having a weapon, if we were in New York, I think you'd have a better argument, but we're in Florida.
And guys, if you look at this picture, just look at don't pay attention to the guys, but if you look at the picture, if this is his car, that I know for sure that the car closest to me is her car. But this little minivan, if this is his minivan and he angled it that way, how in the hell he didn't think she was still going to get in? Okay. Now, if I was her, if we had started off arguing and it seemed like he was a little bit on the cray-cray side, I would either left or I would have parked somewhere else. But she didn't give two damns. She knew what she was carrying. And as you can see, she got out the car and she had it on her. So I'm sure they were yelling at each other outside the damn window.
I think
but
the argument may just be, it's not as conclusive as I think it could be, but I think there's an argument made on both. Go ahead, Kurt.
I just think you're being a little bit unfair by framing it as having a weapon, right? This is like, again, if she had it holstered, if she had it in her belt, if she was, open carrying in some way, like she had a rifle on her back or something, that'd be one thing. But like, she just doesn't merely have it. It's in her hand, man. Now, it's true it isn't pointed at him, but like it can be real fast. So I don't think that's merely having. That's definitely brandishing. And I'm making it's like that's
well,
seems like a deadly
brandishing.
threat
Can we
to me.
define that? Because I genuinely want to know what is brandishing. I always thought that brandishing implied a threat, not necessarily pointing at somebody, but so hanging straight down, is that brandishing or holding? And this is a genuine question because brandishing is a very specific term.
It's displaying with intent. It's displaying with intent. That's what it is. Displaying with intent, basically to intimidate. So the difference is, like, if I pull up a shirt and expose my gun, was I just simply pulling up my shirt because for some reason, because I was hot or like, I was scratching an itch or something? Or did I pull up my shirt in order to display the gun for the purpose and intent of trying to intimidate you? Right. The first is not brandishing. The second is.
In your example, though, is that to intimidate or is that to warn?
What's the difference?
Intimidation means that I want to, threaten or, almost kind of getting down the bully thing in my mind. I'm just going English, not legal terms. But if I try to say, hey, don't touch me, warn, I pull up my shirt, showing, it's like, hey, don't do it. Don't do it.
So Nelson said, did she have a license? Would that make a difference? I'm sure she probably did have a license, because if she didn't have a license, she would probably still be in jail. Okay, I'm sure she had a license.
It'd be a problem.
It
doesn't feel like it's
here's what the law in Florida says.
Yeah, let's be precise.
Florida statute 790.10. Hold on.
Let's be precise.
Yes,
with the exact language.
Florida statute 77.
Okay, guys, while he looking that up, guys, the phone lines are open. Y'all can call me at 682-812-9713 and get on here on the mic.
9 points. I'm putting it up on the screen now.
I say it's displaying with intent. Let's see if I'm right.
Here. Improper exhibition of dangerous. This is a misdemeanor. Any person. Oh, sorry. I gotta put it up on the screen so you guys can see it. Improper exhibition of a dangerous. This is a misdemeanor. If any person carrying a drink, sword, cane, firearm, electric weapon, or device, or other weapon, shall, in the presence of one or more persons, exhibit the same in a rude, careless, angry, threatening, not necessary self-defense, the person so offending shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. So
that's what I said.
So
I don't know that that's brandishing then, because depending on the importance of rude, careless, angry, it's close.
And it has
it's a borderline because it is down. It's very close. Like it could be pulled up anytime. I agree. I would feel uncomfortable, but I also wouldn't advance toward her. So
but he was.
Nate said earlier, you have to go by the view of the guy, right? Well, if the guy sees that and he doesn't feel enough of a threat that he decides to advance on her, is he not kind of countering the brandishing argument? I'm asking.
I mean, you possibly, but also like if you just let's take the hypothetical and kick it up a notch. She just has the gun literally pointed at him, okay, and he advances on her anyway. Well, from standard ground principle, he has a legal right to do that, right? He has a legal right to, assuming that he's innocent in the first place. We'll just make the hypotheticals, make the hypothetical. She is in fact in the wrong. She has the gun pointed at him, and he decides for whatever combination of reasons he wants to walk up to him. Is that a smart thing to do? Probably not. Can he do it lawfully? You bet your ass, because he has a lawful right to be there. And like the fact that she has the gun pointed at him doesn't.
But to continue, because you're getting close to describing the scene here, okay, he walks toward her. He has a legal right to walk toward her. But if she backs up now, at what point is she
was
standing
backing
her
up.
ground and he's advancing on her ground? If she feels enough to the degree that she has to back up, now whose ground are we talking about? Because he's crossed this.
They said she was bobbing and weaving in between the damn cars. And you can see that on the video, guys. She is backing up and he's advancing towards her. Guys, I already asked people earlier, put a 1 in the chat if you think that this was self-defense, and put a 2 in the chat if you think this was murder. Guys, 1 in the chat if it's self-defense, and 2 if you think this was murder.
Invisible plane here, if you will.
Yeah, so we get into issues potentially now of retreat too.
Well,
because we'll go ahead, Nate.
Well, let's do this, because let's not move too forward into the facts of the video. Let's stay let's stay at this place where we're at with brandishing, and I'll say this: I think to the point of brandishing, in this particular situation, I will say this: this is a misdemeanor, maybe, and even if we call it brandishing, which I don't even get, the law itself says if it's not necessary for self-defense, and I think now you're talking about, if this was self-defense, then this doesn't appeal to the brandishing, because it allows you to brandish a weapon if you feel like you're necessarily needed for self-defense. So Kurt's point that this may be a misdemeanor is correct, but now we have to look at the rest of the situation to see if there's a viable self-defense claim, because if it does, then this does not apply. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it's an issue of timing too, as I said before, because the brandishing or not exists the moment that the weapon is displayed, right? It has to be for self-defense or not at that moment. So again, like when she got out of the car, if we conclude that she was displaying it in an angry or threatening manner, then
thank you, Erlene Frederick. She put a 1. I'm believing, guys. I am believing that this was self-defense. But like I said this earlier, guys, she got the complexion for the connection, and I believe she's about to be in trouble. This might be another Karmelo Anthony situation.
the only thing that saves her is that she had the right to self-defense to do it.
Not at that, but it doesn't. But
I guess
the argument would be preparing for self-defense. In other words, I don't have to. If somebody's coming at me in an angry manner, and I pick up my gun and get out the car, that doesn't mean that now I'm not. In other words, I am not now exhibiting the weapon for no reason. I am exhibiting it in preparation to employ self-defense if necessary, because you don't have to.
Okay.
So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this statute only applies if I'm pulling in a point and doing that without any real reason. But again, I think if we go to the video and look at the rest of it, then we can determine whether. So
Nelson, are you saying that he said that you heard him say that he was going to unalive her? Because the audio was kind of crappy on this particular video.
Whether this even applies or not, because I'm thinking right now it applies just right now without looking at the rest of the facts.
I have a couple more questions though, because like I said, her holding it pointed down is like we're really close. I'm having trouble getting over the hump of the brandishing claim, and part of that is too, how is she supposed to carry it? I didn't see a holster or pockets on her. I saw a hand. Now, if all you have is your hands and you have to transport the weapon from A to B.
It looked like she got some sweatpants on, and it looks like she has a purse tucked underneath her arm, and then the cell phone, and then the gun. I could be wrong.
I was in the military. We carried rifles all the time, pointed down. Pointed down toward the ground. I can't tell if her finger's on the trigger. That would be a relevant factor too. But if you are carrying the gun at your side, again, it's close because he could interpret it as it or not. But to me, brandishing is like kind of going about like, who you talking to? What are you doing here? Holding, the gun up, not necessarily even pointing out, but just waving it about or something. And that's just where I'm having trouble. But walking and carrying a gun in your hand, pointed down, which is the safest point you could do it. Even in the air is not cool because the bullet could go up and it could come down on people. Pointing to the ground is the safest way to carry a weapon. Correct me if I'm wrong. You've both been at the range.
So it's
guys. I'm retired military. if me and this lady had been arguing over that damn parking spot and I would have saw that gun, she would have had no damn problem out of me. Matter of fact, I would have asked her for her damn car keys. I would have parked her car in the very spot I wanted. Okay, she wouldn't have had no damn problem out of me. I don't know why this guy could not comprehend this lady wasn't fucking around with his ass.
So let's get back to the video. So I just want to make sure the point of disagreement is whether this is brandishing because she has the gun in her hand pointed down. Eric says it's not brandishing because essentially she's carrying a gun even though she's pointing it down. And Kurt says there's an argument that she is brandishing because just by having the weapon, there seems to be it could be seen to the victim as a serious threat. So that seems to be the disagreement. I think the disagreement is in form, not substance. Kurt's saying if it's in a holster, you're pretty all right. You're saying the fact that it's pointed down and not pointed at the person is all right. So let's continue to look at the video and see what happens after this.
He's then seen walking toward her as she points the gun at him. She backs up several times, gun level.
Okay, so guys, I thought that car that was parked closest to me was her car. And then I thought the other minivan was his. So that is somebody else's minivan. So they hurry up and got out of town while they sitting there arguing.
She retreats around the car. He follows.
Yep.
Now,
that's pretty interesting too.
Now, at this point, this where stand your ground actually kind of plays into it a little bit. Because for stand your ground, even if I am the initial aggressor, if I start retreating to exit the situation and the person continues to advance, then that knocks that argument of brandishing totally out the water because she is actively retreating in a stand your ground state. Would you agree with that?
Correct. So even assuming that she was the initial aggressor with the brandishing and he had the right to approach her initially, when she starts backing up, she's trying to withdraw from the confrontation.
There you go.
She's retreating. So at that point, when he re-engages the confrontation, now very reasonably he becomes the aggressor. So because she made attempts to retreat, who the aggressor is legally very much can flip. Yep.
That's what I meant about crossing the plane into territory. Like, she,
but I hadn't gotten that far in the video at the time yet.
No, I get it.
So now, let me go back because now there's another video. So this video, well, let me continue to play this.
An eyewitness says the woman.
Now it jumps to this part, but
which I hate. There's a lot of cuts in these videos, which is
that's
problematic.
Very not helpful.
So I'm going to now this Fox News clip where it shows exactly what happened after the car left. So here's the Fox News video. The car's left. And remember, we saw him approaching her. So here it is. So here's the Fox.
Okay, she's pointing the gun right at him. That's pretty threatening. I don't know how much more threatening it gets than that. She's backing up, but with the gun pointed at him.
Okay. And we don't hear what is being said. So now,
can we back up to her raising the gun?
I
want to see what initiated the gun raise.
Still watching.
Let's
pointing. Can't see her.
You're right, Nelson. She's backing up.
So he's still approaching her.
He's following her ass.
And she's going to come around because she's still pointing
there
the gun
she
at him.
is. Still has the gun's pointed at him. Still attempting to retreat.
Yeah.
He's still approaching.
This is not a his.
No, but now he's walking away.
And that's the problem.
He's retreating. Now what happens?
So now
he came back.
Up her.
Oh my God!
That's where the shot happens.
And this is
where it happens.
What
right after soon as the shot happens.
What a fucking legal nightmare is my conclusion.
Yeah.
What a fucking legal nightmare.
Hold on, let me go back to the GMA. So
repeatedly warned him she'll shoot if he keeps coming at her. Treats around the car. He follows. An eyewitness says the woman repeatedly warned him she'll shoot if he keeps coming at her.
Welcome, Sleepy Lounge Talk 6853.
At her. He appears to leave, but then quickly returns. And then she opens fire, shooting to Guglielmo.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's talk about it. So hold on.
Why his ass kept coming back? Okay. You should have just left. Why do you keep coming back, having this lady bobbing and weaving in between the damn cars?
I don't know.
We stopped Eric a whole bunch of times. Eric, you said you want us to rewind it to a certain point. Which point was that?
I wanted to see when she raised the gun. Because one cut, it looks like she's backing up and raised the gun as she is backing up, which would be one thing. Another looked like she raised the gun, just depending on the angle, and it's difficult.
Here it is.
seen walking toward her as
and she raised the gun there.
Okay,
When
so he's moving
walking
toward
her, and she raises the gun.
Now here's the problems I have with the scenario.
Okay.
I don't think his intent was to harm her, and I know that it's up to her interpretation versus his. But notice his hands were all.
You got this big ass man coming towards you, and a couple of you guys say he might have been sauced up. What's up, James? Welcome. A couple of you think that he might have been sauced up. Yeah, he would be a threat to me.
Almost always down. And they were kind of in discussion mode versus like going to, fight or attack or grapple. Now I know that that's me reading into it after the fact, obviously, and it may not matter legally, but the whole thing seems to be a tragedy in a lot of ways here, because I feel like he really wasn't taking it seriously. I don't think he actually thought she was going to shoot him, and I don't know if he intended to hurt her or not, but I know that none.
Guys, we got a whole bunch of ones up in here, so everybody is thinking that this was self-defense. And then Nelson says, was his wife driving? I'm not really sure. I'm kind of confused as to is this more than one white minivan in this parking lot, because I'm getting a little confused on which minivan is whose.
That may be relevant, except for the fact that somebody's dead, and however you look at it, a life has been taken, and it's
true that it's sad.
Really, really a sad situation, in my opinion. But
go ahead, Kurt.
It's very legally messy because you've got issues of retreat and re-engagement at multiple different potential time frames. So trying to figure out who retreated and who was the aggressor, it's very legally messy. My initial gut opinion is that, although I think it's questionable, but my initial gut opinion is that this is not self-defense. Okay. Because she's getting out of the car in response to a dispute. We're not aware of anything prior to that point where there was any sort of deadly threat. So if something happened prior to that point, then maybe. But from what we understand, there was an argument over a parking space. Presumably some loud words were being said. She steps out of the car with a handgun in her hand, displayed. Mm-hmm. And now that's with more angry words, which seems like, to my mind, legally brandishing. Mm-hmm. Now, she does make some attempts to retreat, but there's multiple different stages of engagement. And I don't, my snap opinion is I think that this leans against self-defense.
Jesus.
Well, I would say, to me, I think this is pretty much I think it's as clear self-defense as
me too.
You can possibly get in a stand your ground state for a couple of different reasons. One, brandishing of the gun, having the gun, I don't think is illegal. And as Eric has now convinced me, by pointing it down, you show you have a weapon, but that doesn't mean you're really threatening as a weapon. And if you're talking about a misdemeanor, okay. So we're talking about she has the gun and she now has a guy and you have a woman. So now let's say if this was, let's not say these people, but let's just say it's any woman. Now you have a man who's screaming and yelling at you. You have a weapon in your hand. Then he advances towards you. So only when after he advances toward her does she actually point the gun. Now we have to look at all the other circumstances with this. The witnesses at the scene were saying she's yelling, "Stay back! I don't blah blah blah. Stay back! Don't come! Don't come!"
She's telling them, "Stay back!" Fuck.
What does she do? She retreats. She's backing up.
True that.
She's back around the car. She's still pointing the gun, right? Retreating, until she gets to a point where she's now at her car again, and he's walked off, and he turns around and comes back, and she's still pointing and saying, "Don't come any closer," and he comes closer.
Guys, she gave him several warnings, and his ass just kept coming. This shit is weird. And then he left. He came back. It's weird.
Okay, yeah. So I wasn't factoring in that verbal component.
So
that,
I'm thinking
with those verbal components, now I'm leaning the other way.
So
leaning
I'm saying
self-defense.
when you look at the entire situation, especially with her saying, "Don't come any closer," blah, 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 I don't, all that type of stuff, then I don't see how you have, because at that point, even if I give you the initial aggressor, which I can even give up, The fact that she retreated, which is
True that.
required in a stand your
She
ground state.
retreated.
The
Fair.
fact that she was given verbal commands that she wanted to retreat, that just don't come closer to me, and the fact that he left, came back,
Yeah.
and she's pointing a gun at him and tells him, "Don't come any closer." She shoots at the last second.
The other issue that
She doesn't have to be jumped. I think there is no way that a jury is going to convict this woman, because now you have a woman and a man too in a parking lot fighting over a parking spot. I just don't think you can get a jury, or the law is going to say this woman wasn't acting in self-defense in a stand your ground. If we're in New York, you may have a different issue. But I think in Florida, this is clearly stand your ground. Go ahead, Eric, because I cut you off.
I was going to also say that, the training I've had in the past or whatever is you don't leave the gun in the car to have to go get the gun if you're in a potentially bad situation. And that's why I was saying about if she had no holster or anything on her, she couldn't stand outside with the gun in a holster. So by handling the weapon in the safest manner possible when getting out of the car,
absolutely not.
I don't believe in you're going to leave the weapon in the car. What was the initial incident that made her get out of the car? Was it that verbal
That's
altercation?
That is insane.
How is that insane?
What you're saying is insane. So you're
Okay,
saying
tell me what's insane. Break it down.
You're saying that a person who doesn't have a holster because they just can't be bothered and what?
Welcome back, Wild L23. Thank you so much for participating.
To have one. If they want to have a handgun on them for their self-defense, just because they have the right to in Florida, which they do, they can just carry it in their hand, weapon down, and just like walk through like the grocery store and everything, and that's just like normal thing.
Are you in a grocery store, Kurt?
What are you talking about?
Are you in a grocery store? No, you laid out a hypothetical. Is she in a grocery store? Is she walking around through
What's the
town?
difference?
No, you're painting.
Some of you have alluded to the fact that the man was sauced up, and I'm thinking he was already getting prepared for the 4th of July, which he never made it to the 4th of July, guys, because this happened a couple of days ago. I'm thinking he was a little bit sauced up. He probably has a minivan already. He's going to buy some drinks, this, that, and the third, guys, and I'm saying allegedly. I think he was already sauced up. And this is the reason why he was not thinking correctly.
A picture that I didn't say.
Yeah. Because I
So
think
now back up and address what I said.
the difference. The difference is that I think you expanded it to grocery store, where I think Eric is saying in this particular context of being confronted by someone on the street.
I see something that's a potential threat.
Yeah, and
I
so
why
should
I
not-
hold
why
it
should I have
down.
to
I'm in the
leave the
safest
gun?
manner possible. I don't have my holster on me. I don't even have my purse on me. I have the phone in one hand and a gun in another. I'm pointing the gun down. I'm hoping nothing ever comes out of this. I'm just trying to be, as fair as humanly possible. And then the person keeps coming up.
And she's recording this all at the same time. So on one hand, she's recording the incident, and the other hand, she does have the gun. So
She is multitasking her ass off. She's recording and about to shoot this mofo. And to answer your question, Wild L23, yeah, I'm not an early riser. I work night shift, so when I'm off, I have a problem sleeping. But I can't believe this lady is like, she multitasking her ass off.
I do think this is. I don't think he's arguing. You could just walk around with the gun in
God,
Walmart.
no, that's ridiculous.
I think his argument is that in this particular situation where she believes that this person who's yelling at her and screaming at her may do harm to her, she prepares herself by grabbing the weapon and turning on her cell phone. If she didn't turn on her cell phone, then I think the argument would be different. But the fact she's turning on her cell phone and grabbing the weapon at the same time,
she good.
I think colors it a little differently. Would you?
And he
agree
even
with
had
that,
a
Kurt?
vehicle backed in to trap her or put her in a weird position when she was trying to park. So don't forget that context as well, because there's also there was an immediate aggression in his part.
You can't prepare in that way. That's the problem. I'll return to your hypothetical because I suppose I misunderstood what you were trying to say. But responding to what you were trying to say, you can't prepare in that sense, because the right of the self-defense issue has to exist or not at the time that you're displaying the firearm. Because if you go read the statute again, it says, like, there's that clause, except in self-defense, right? So the self-defense has to exist at the time, because it's like, yeah, not necessary in self-defense. So the self-defense needs to be necessary at the time. It's a question of fact that it's necessary at the time. So the question is, what is the impetus that made it necessary for her to carry it around in self-defense at the time?
Well, she had it with her in the car. The impetus is some crazy dude. This is her perspective. I don't know. He's probably the nicest, calmest guy in the world.
He looked cray-cray to me.
That I don't think he necessarily meant it to go that far. But now, standing in her point, and every extreme, whatever, you have somebody, you're trying to get in a parking lot. He blocked off your space. He's coming at your car. He's doing this. You are feeling trapped. You're not going to be able to drive away because you're blocked.
Maybe there's other things on video that I haven't seen.
These are all.
I didn't see any of that on the video.
Okay. Do you have that video?
Well,
They show the angle of his vehicle. The first thing that
Nate showed me was her getting out of the car. I don't have any of that pre-existing stuff because you're right. That would significantly inform.
Here.
So I need more information. Fair enough.
This is the newscast that everybody's reacting to. So I'll play it from this point so we can see.
Let's pay attention.
It has all the threats and all that stuff, and when her saying, because on the last one it also had that too. So let's play it from here.
Questions about a deadly shooting outside of a Walmart.
A father of 3 losing his life.
Before we get there, though, let me do this. This is a great time to hit some super chats.
Wow.
All right, guys.
20 uncivil law members. You for the 20 memberships to uncivil law. 2 years. Great to see you're doing better.
Come on with the video. Come on.
Thank you so much. Here's another one. I love this debating. This is what we need. Remove the race out.
Yes.
And get to the facts. This is a completely messy, yes, unnecessary situation where both sides lost. Appreciate y'all's opinions. Yes. And a lot of people in their feelings. The stand your ground law is clear.
The law's clear, but the facts are changing before my eyes. Because as I just said, he just said to me some things like, "Oh, I haven't seen that." Right? So some more facts might come into the picture. Let's see some more facts.
Let's do it.
Over a parking spot, and tonight the woman accused of shooting him claims that she fired in self-defense. Local 10's Rochelo spoke exclusively to the victim's daughter. He's live down in North Lauderdale with what the video shows. Rush.
So you just mentioned this, and this is important. This woman is claiming self-defense. She'll have to argue that she had a fear, an imminent fear for her life. Well, tonight we have the video, and you'll see it for yourself. And what we also have tonight are the words of the victim's daughter. And you'll see how heartbroken she is. The backstory on this case, she was estranged from her dad for many years. Recently, they were trying to
all
rebuild
irrelevant
their lives.
Please.
Lost.
I hate that part.
Just tell me the facts.
We're going to start this with the video. The victim with the gray shirt. The woman with a gun. There is a standoff, and then the shooting. You can hear it.
Oh.
Passing.
So they had the sound for the gunshot, but no sound prior to that, which is very annoying.
Father, Bart, shot in the stomach in a Walmart parking lot in North Lauderdale.
I just don't think anybody deserves to lose their life over a parking spot.
Cops say an adult female and the victim were involved in a verbal altercation over a parking space in the Walmart parking lot prior to the shooting.
I don't like to deal with death and talk about it at all. That's why I was very hesitant to do this interview.
But you are doing it. Why do you want to speak about your dad?
I've heard from
Move it faster.
According to investigators, the shooter, the adult female, remained on scene, cooperated with detectives, and she told them the shooting was in self-defense.
he loved his country.
Bart served in the military.
this is
there are no
annoying.
charges.
I just want the facts.
She was estranged from.
Isn't it just amazing how they don't have no other audio, but when the shot happened, all of a sudden the audio came on? Guys, that's weird as hell to me. And I was thinking that minivan that was closest to her car was his, but as you can see, some people pulled out. So that is weird. While L23 says this is simple self-defense when a white person kills a black person in self-defense, this conversation never happens. The video has already spoken a long time ago. And then Nelson says, oh, okay, this is sad as fuck. And it is sad. This was senseless over a damn parking spot. But guys, this is self-defense. But I'm still thinking that this lady might get in some big trouble. That's my personal opinion.
From her dad for many years.
Here we go again.
But recently they were working on repairing their like that interview case.
Go with the.
So that's what most people are reacting to.
You mentioned something about
yes,
him
I
driving,
need to.
trying
There's
to block
another
her in or something like that. I'm not
is it
seeing
the
any
Fox
of that
video that says it? One of them does.
Here's
break
the other
it down.
one. Here's the other one that breaks it down too. The GMA
Investigation into a deadly confrontation in Florida. A parking space dispute turning deadly outside a Walmart. 62-year-old Bart DeGuglielmo shot and killed.
Yeah, let's start with the shooting. Yeah.
Not helpful.
Outside in the parking lot, both out there were fighting over a parking spot.
Authorities say the altercation started about 5 minutes earlier.
So she's on the phone.
Okay,
She has the
now
gun, but
they're describing it.
The two drivers fighting over a parking spot. DeGuglielmo then parked his car, partially blocking the spot, and walked into the store. Witnesses say the woman then managed to slip into the spot anyway. The woman is then seen getting out of her car, phone in one hand, the other, yelling at DeGuglielmo, who appears to be yelling back. He's then seen walking toward her as she points the gun at him. She backs up several times, gun leveled. Car follows. An eyewitness says the woman repeatedly warned him she'll shoot if he keeps coming at her.
She warned him.
He appears to leave, but then quickly returns. And then she opens fire, shooting DeGuglielmo. Police then take the woman into custody.
Okay. So that's essentially the factual story.
Which is ugly. It's ugly.
How does it change?
Everybody's
How does it
wrong
change?
to a point.
I don't know if it really changes that predicate really changes anything, because the way that they said it is like he tried to block the space, she drove in. Oh, he tried to block the space, and then he went into the store. She drove around the block to get into the parking space.
Why is he doing stupid shit like that? Trying to take two spots. He parked at an angle so she couldn't get in, but she wound up getting in anyway.
And then presumably when he came back out, that's where the confrontation began. So he didn't drive to block her in the way that they told it. He was already blocking the space before she drove in, and that's factually relevant. Because she can't be like, oh, I saw him block me in, because the block existed beforehand.
Yeah, she wasn't blocked in. She got into the space.
Nelson, he was shot in the stomach, but he did not survive.
Now, obviously, I think she parked into the space to F him, like, oh, I can still get in the space anyway, right?
Fair enough. I mean, it's a valid space. She has the right to do that. I don't have a problem with that. The thing that's turning the facts for me at this point is the statements that Nate is saying. What she's saying, like, get back, don't approach me, things like that. If she is trying to verbally, warn him away and de-escalate and trying to tell him back off, don't get near me and all the rest of it, if that's factually true, that strongly leans towards self-defense.
Good.
Because it's not just words of antagonism. Now it's words trying to, I'm afraid, I'm being approached, I don't know you, I don't want you near my space, you're bigger than me, and you're acting in a way that seems, crazy to me. And she tries to take efforts to back off, and then she shoots him. So she's giving those kinds of words. That goes a long way. So then I'm going to flip my opinion and say, I'm allowed to change my opinion.
Good.
Yes. There are more facts. I changed my opinion. What do you want from me? Hey, you present more facts. I'm going to change my mind. And now I'm leaning to self-defense. Okay, great. Moving on.
No, the reason why I'm laughing because this case is it's messy in terms of the facts. Because I think if we really just evaluate it just purely based on the law, I think you do have, and this is just being fair to both sides. I think when she initially gets out, she gets in a car, and this guy's still screaming and yelling, and she gets out the car with a phone and a gun. So I think that was a bad mistake, but she had the legal right to do it, because you have to start thinking about this stuff. Do I have a legal right to get out my car with my gun in my hand and my cell phone in my hand? Yes. But now he then goes and approaches her. So he now closes the distance on her because he's not there. He's far away. So now
self-defense all day long.
Confronts the person with the gun and the phone. That now is a bad decision on his part, right? She's got a gun. Why am I approaching her? Then you have the whole, why now is he trying to close the distance? She's backing up. He's closing the distance. She's backing up. He's closing the distance. She's backing up. He's closing the distance. And when you layer that on top of the warnings, stop, get back, don't get closer, I'll shoot you, please, stop. I just don't know how. Even if you give him, she was the initial aggressor. The fact that she retreated, the fact that she gave verbal warnings, and the fact that even when he left the second time, he kept
coming back. That's weird.
Warnings. Don't come any closer or I'll shoot. And he came closer and he was shot. So I think if you look at the whole situation in that context, I think Kurt you may be able to get her on the misdemeanor for brandishing the weapon, but I don't think you get on the murder or the or any manslaughter, because I think at that point she's done enough where she's checked all the boxes for self-defense. Let me get Eric in here.
I think it's two assholes. Somebody died.
Welcome back.
Anyway, he summed that up really quick. Guys, the phone lines are still open, 682-812-9713. If you want to get on the mic with me live, I would greatly appreciate it. Guys, let's get these lights up. Shit. Let's get these likes up, guys. It is 2:31 in here in California in the wee hours of the morning, guys. Let's get these likes up, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Guys, my contact information is down below. Let's listen to what this dude has to say.
To Hill of Justice, and let's talk about Florida's Stand Your Ground law. Let's talk about what happens when a verbal argument over a parking space turns fatal in a matter of seconds. What you're looking at is a Walmart parking lot in North Lauderdale, Florida. It's a Tuesday afternoon, and two adults are having an argument over a parking space, which just happens all the time, right? One is a 62-year-old military veteran and a former ER trauma nurse. He goes by the name of Bard Deglielmo, I believe. The other is an unnamed woman holding a firearm pointed directly at his torso, if you can see here. The video shows her telling him to back away. It shows him continuing to step forward. Then a single shot is fired.
So, Bobby, thank you for participating. Bobby says, please stop saying just over a parking spot. I see a person walking upon another person and the person is backing away continuously. The other person continues to walk upon the other. And you're right. You are right. But when I'm talking about the parking spot, I'm just saying this whole thing was senseless. Okay, for him to just keep going at her, that's just weird to me. I don't understand why he would do that. This is the reason why I'm thinking, Bobby, that this was self-defense.
To his abdomen, he falls to the asphalt, and this is where he later dies at the hospital. The Broward Sheriff's Office responded. They took her into custody, and then they released her without charges while the state's attorney reviews the case. She claims it was self-defense. Now, as a former detective, I want to break down what the police are looking at, what the statute actually says, and why feeling threatened is not the same thing as a legal right to take a life. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we look at. When we're watching this witness video, they are looking at who took whose parking spot. No.
Thank you, Nelson.
Nobody cares who took whose parking spot. That doesn't matter, and it really doesn't matter under the law. They're looking at three specific elements. They're looking at the distance between the two, the physical capability of him and her, and the escalation of force, which will be her holding the weapon, him advancing towards. So witnesses on the scene state that the victim used his vehicle to block the woman from parking. It happens all the time, right? Verbal altercation occurred. And what happened, if you can see in the video, the woman already has her weapon drawn. And this will be important later on. She is on her cell phone with law enforcement, which will be critical later on, while keeping the gun level at his chest. Now, if you take a look closely at the physical disparity of the two, he's a 62-year-old male. She's a younger female. And under Florida law, to justify the use of deadly force, you must have a reasonable belief that such force is necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm to yourself. The defense is going to argue that an angry, larger male closing the distance on a female, even after a firearm is produced, constitutes an immediate threat of great bodily harm. They will argue that she had nowhere to retreat, even though under Stand Your Ground, she has no duty to retreat at all. But let's look at the tape again, because that's where we get into the meat and potatoes of everything. Let's take a look here, because in a self-defense case, movement is going to be everything, especially where the feet's at. The footage shows the woman actively retreating. She backs up several feet, creating distance while keeping her firearm drawn. Simultaneously, you see the 62-year-old male does not stop. He maintains his pace. He's closing the gap, stepping directly into the space that she's
afraid.
Vacated.
She's afraid.
I'm going to let you know now, as an investigator, when I see a citizen backing away, it tells me two critical things simultaneously. First, it establishes her subjective mindset. She's trying to de-escalate the proximity. She is explicitly demonstrating that she does not want a physical altercation whatsoever. Second, it completely strips away the prosecution's ability to call her a mutual combatant. And I know this term, really got my sister in a tailspin several years back. So I'm going to go ahead and translate what this phrase means for the folks at home. A lot of you at Hill Nation understand this. A mutual combatant is a legal term for when two people voluntarily agree to a fight. Okay? It's almost like it's an unwritten agreement where both sides say, let's settle this with our hands. Under Florida law, though, if you willingly step up to trade blows, you can't claim self-defense because both people are considered wrongdoers. But to be a mutual combatant, there must be a mutual consent. Look at her actions on this tape. She isn't consenting to a fight. She is actively walking backward. And there is the second equally critical factor unfolding almost simultaneously. She isn't just backing up. She's actively on the phone with law enforcement. Now, I'm going to tell you, in our world, this creates what we call a stream of...
Okay, in the previous video, the guys were saying that she was recording it. So evidently she wasn't recording it. She was actually talking to law enforcement. She is the one to call the police.
Consciousness recording, okay? So this is how that plays out. When a person is actively engaging with a 911 dispatcher during a life or death crisis, they don't have time to manufacture a story. It's happening in real time. Their voice, their heavy breathing, their frantic warnings to the dispatcher, to the aggressors are being captured in raw, real-time audio. To a jury, this is incredibly powerful evidence of her being in subjective fear, right? Many people watching this tape will argue that she was doing exactly what a responsible gun owner is supposed to do. She didn't just pull a weapon out and shoot. She actively summoned authorities to intervene and help de-escalate the situation before a trigger was ever pulled. Her line to safety was already open. When 911 tape is played in court, the prosecution isn't just fighting the videotape anymore. They're fighting the raw audio of a human being in a state of panic, begging for the police to arrive while an unarmed man refuses to stop closing the distance. But here's where the prosecution is going to dig in. And this is where we're going to have fireworks. To claim self-defense, you cannot be the initial aggressor, or you must have clearly withdrawn from the conflict first. If she drew her weapon during a purely verbal argument before any physical threat was made, she may have committed an aggravated assault with a firearm.
Interesting.
Right, I would say right then and there. But as you see, this can scale. You cannot create a deadly scenario, introduce a lethal weapon, and then claim you had no choice but to pull the trigger because the other person didn't back down from the gun. You cannot do that whatsoever. Or can you? Now, I know what a lot of you are going to say right now. You're going to say, guess what? What about George Zimmerman? He followed Trayvon Martin.
There you go.
He started the confrontation. He got away with...
This lady is going to be in trouble. I don't care what people are saying. Unfortunately, she is going to be in trouble for what happened.
With it under the same Florida law, stand your ground. And this is where I got to go ahead and clear this up, because the public narrative on this is not the reality that happened in the courtroom. George Zimmerman's defense team knew that they couldn't use stand your ground, and they didn't. They waived that and ran a traditional classic self-defense case at trial. Why? Because they absolutely knew, Zimmerman's team knew that they could not get away with that because of the messy, disputed facts of who started the confrontation. And that was him. Couldn't use stand your ground. So what generally happened with the case, if you look at it, was they had to look at the physical breakdown of the two events. He started it, yet the confrontation happened. And this verdict that you saw with Zimmerman was hinged basically entirely on the fact that when the trigger was pulled, Zimmerman was on his back and on the pavement, having his head struck against the concrete. And because he was sustaining physical injuries, the legal team went about saying that this could have endangered his life. A jury found that that exact moment of the shooting that he was experiencing a physical beating that could have ended his life. But want to go ahead and go past that because there's other things in that court case.
Guys, let's take a look at this poll. I asked you guys, will this shooter be the next big Carmelo Anthony case? And 52% of you said yes, and 48% of you said no.
That was completely out of control. Now, let's go back to the Walmart parking lot. In this case, there is no physical struggle on the ground. We know that. There are no fists flying. The victim is completely unarmed, and the distance between them is being actively recorded on cell phones and on cameras all over the place. And if you're the defense in the Walmart case, you cannot rely on the Zimmerman playbook. That you cannot do. But you can't argue your client was actively pinned down and being beaten. So you can't do that. You have to prove that an unarmed 62-year-old man simply walking up towards a drawn gun created an imminent lethal threat so severe that pulling the trigger was her only option. That is a completely different legal hill to climb. Furthermore, the investigators will have to look at the exact moment of the shooting. Was he lunging? Did he raise his hands? Or was he simply standing his ground verbally? Because a verbal insult in of itself, no matter how unhinged it is, it does not authorize a citizen to deploy deadly force on a public street.
But what we got to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, there's a situation down in Florida. Somebody called in about it last night. I needed to see it. I saw the video. There was a sister who had to use lethal self-defense against a white man who was accosting her,
This
coming
is
up on her,
sad.
running up on her.
It's
Have y'all
sad.
seen the video?
Several
Yeah,
times.
down in Florida at a Walmart, in a parking lot, looks like a road rage incident. This guy, this white male, his name was what's his name? Diguiliazamo, something like that. He's 62 years old, Bart Digliazamo, something. I can't pronounce his last name. But it turned into a verbal argument with this sister over a parking space. Looked like the guy parked in front of the sister, and then he got out and started barking at her and all that. So she had to get out with her thing
Not a
to let him
thing.
know that, hey, this ain't going to be what you think it's going to be. And she had her gun, and he's walking up on her. She's backing up. He
That
keeps
she
walking
did.
up on her. It looks like he's trying to walk up on her so
There
he can
you
take
go.
her gun. And the sister kept giving him warnings. She kept backing up. She kept retreating, which in Florida, you have no duty to retreat. You can stand.
Maybe he wanted to take her gun to be some type of big ass hero or something out there in the parking lot of Walmart. Maybe that's what was going on. I don't know why he kept charging towards her. This shit is weird.
Stand your ground, but she, even with her weapon, she was still backing up, giving that man every chance and opportunity to get the hell on about his business. He kept running up on the sister, so she had to do what she had to do and let them hot things off on him and put him on down. And thankfully, the sister has not been arrested. I mean, this is a clear stand your ground case.
We'll see.
But the white supremacists online, boy, they are complaining. Boy, now they're flipping. Now, this is Florida. George Zimmerman, stand your ground, all that, where he chased down a black teenager and unalived a black teenager who was completely innocent. And they sat there and cheered that. Now we had a situation that's on film. Somebody's dash cam caught what happened, thankfully. And now they trying to flip the script. Oh no, dude, he was unarmed, dude. She got out of the car with the gun, dude. Well, so did Zimmerman. Zimmerman got out the damn car with the gun, and y'all said that was cool. Yeah, I don't want to hear all of these damn I'm white and I say so excuses. That sister handled her candle. She did what she was supposed to do to defend herself. Listen, family, I think these people think the Karmelo verdict was going to have a chilling effect on all of us because our good brother Karmelo, a child who defended himself from the son of a suspected white supremacist who approached him unjustly, harassed, and then assaulted him. And Carmelo stood his ground and did what the law said. You can defend yourself.
He stood his ground and got 35 years. I am freaking shocked to this very day. Guys, let's get these likes up, okay? Go ahead and push that like button, guys. I greatly appreciate it. The phone line is still open, guys. 682-812-9713.
And then they threw our brother in jail as a political prisoner unjustly, trying to use the I'm white and I say so rule. The white supremacists think they think that's going to be a green light to come at us because we're going to be afraid to defend ourselves. And that's not going to be the case. That's not going to be the case. That 35-year sentence handed down to Karmelo by that all-white
Ridiculous.
jury, that wasn't just about punishing one teenager. That was a strategic message from the dominant society. The system, they wanted to weaponize that conviction so they could mandate black passivity, so they could broadcast a clear threat that defending yourself against a white aggressor could cost you your freedom.
That's sad.
Because again, there's an unwritten rule that has always been the rule in this society, is that black people are not supposed to use lethal force against the dominant white society, no matter what they
Sad.
do.
So
There were
sad.
laws literally in early America, in pre-America, stating this. A black person or a Negro is not supposed to raise their hand in defense of a white person under no circumstance.
Ridiculous.
So the spirit of that law is still here, even though it's not on paper no more. And we're saying, damn that. They had a miscalculation of the chilling effect, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you see, they think that watching what went down with our brother Karmelo, which we're going to still fight to get him out. He's a political prisoner, and we're going to stand on business, and however long it takes, we're going to get him out of there. He shouldn't be in jail whatsoever. But they want people to now, black folks, to second guess their right to self-preservation. That's the fundamental.
And Nelson, you're totally correct. It doesn't make a difference what color somebody is. If you wrong, you wrong. If you right, you right. That's just what it is. Don't play crazy. If you right, you right. You wrong, you wrong. You cannot tell me. I've said this in other videos concerning the Karmelo Anthony case. You cannot tell me that this boy did not feel intimidated. He didn't feel scared. You cannot tell me he did not get jumped. Okay? You cannot tell me that he was defending himself.
Miscalculation. Survival instinct does not pause because of a legal precedent. No. A harsh sentence that might breed anger, but it's not going to override your innate human drive to protect your damn life in a life or death situation. See, they weaponize these self-defense laws. See, the legal framework of self-defense, concepts like imminence and proportionality, and that's always interpreted through a racialized lens. When a black person asserts himself with self-defense, the system automatically shifts the burden of treating their fear as illegitimate and the aggressor's actions justified. We know the rules are different.
True that.
And we have to factor that into our reality. That doesn't change our response to an immediate threat. You understand? See, the thing is, if you look at the archives of history, this isn't a new tactic. The criminalization of black self-defense, that's been a structural pillar for centuries. This Anthony case and others, that's the modern iteration of using the judicial system to try to strip away the right of us to arm ourselves for self-preservation. Just like with the Black Panthers, again, out here in California, I always bring this up. In California, you can have guns. You can openly carry in California. This is the Wild Wild West. Come on now. This is the Wild West. Literally the Wild West. Where people just had guns on holsters out here walking up in a saloon. That was the West was built on that. The cowboy and all that stuff. You can openly carry your guns. When the Black Panthers did it, there's
Hold the fuck up.
wait a minute now.
Exactly.
We got to change. They immediately changed the damn law. You understand? This is why I say we as foundational Black Americans, we are pivotal to all the laws in this country. When I say we're foundational to everything, ladies and gentlemen. All the laws and everything ultimately revolve around us. Y'all know that? Do y'all really? I really want y'all to understand that part of the game. But the thing is, man, when you're confronted with an immediate physical threat, the decision-making process, man, it's very binary. You survive or become a damn victim.
True that.
The dominant society, they theorize that the threat of a courtroom will make a Black person choose to be a damn victim. That's a delusion. When faced with violence, people, we're going to do whatever we need to do necessary to neutralize the threat.
I'd rather be in a courtroom than in a casket all day long.
Including lethal force. Yeah. Because dealing with a biased court is still better than being in a damn casket.
True that.
You understand? And because the judicial system, they refuse to validate Black self-defense, the strategy, we just can't rely on the courts for justice. I mean, if you have an immediate threat, you got to do what you have to do.
Hey, what's going on, good brother?
Hey, man, I'm good. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm chilling, man. Burning midnight oil at the gig, man.
No
But
doubt.
see, it sports them with this patriotism, which I call it patriotism, because they only honor this so-called patriotism when it's them and not us.
Right.
Okay. Don't forget, our brother Roger Fortson was an active airman down there in Florida. You know, he was in the military at the time. He was, you know, down by one of those race soldiers. His name was Eddie Duran. Let's not forget that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and they just keep trying to change us. And like the brother that was in the wheelchair, remember he got popped by, you know, a suspected white supremacist. You know, why and he's a veteran too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No, we're not gonna let that slide. We're not gonna let them pick and choose and play favorites on who's serving.
Oh, yeah.
Remember what the double V campaign stand for. I'll land there.
Yeah, my man. Thank you so much, brother. Let's get Scotty. Yo, Scotty.
What's going on with you?
How you doing, Scotty?
How you doing? All right, man. Pushing these 18 wheels like usual at night, man. Appreciate the broadcast. I'm glad. I appreciate what the dude said. He's right. They are patriotism. We are the biggest number one patriots of this entire land. We fought, we stayed, we pushed, we fight. No matter what, we don't get the turncoat like they do.
Oh yeah.
And I noticed actually yesterday I just got hip to this situation with with the lady and the suspected white supremacist guy who has clearly had anger issues.
Yeah.
Now, why is it that Chud the builder, and let's not forget to this very second, he still does not have a hate crime charge on him. Let's put that out there.
True that.
How is it that he gets to run up on a veteran PTSD veteran, but that only got mentioned once or twice, but not his suspected white supremacist dude who had clearly had anger management issues? That's all they keep leading with. He was a veteran. He was a veteran.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This guy was trying to get as close as he could over a parking spot to try to harm that sister.
Yep.
But y'all want to give him the veteran word. See, these the type of things that really irritate my soul. And I'm glad dude brought that up because I forgot about the good brother who was in there who answered the door when that police officer knocked on the door. And he was on FaceTime with his girl. And they shot him as soon as he opened the door. So he had a gun in his hand. You went to the man's door because somebody called for a disturbance that we still to this day never got the answer to. Because he was on FaceTime with his girl. But man, God bless America. Y'all stay good. I'm going to keep listening to B1 family.
Respect to you, brother. Right? King of the South.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me, man?
I can hear you, brother. How are you?
How you doing, brother Tariq? First off, happy belated birthday, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem. Simple question, man. I don't want to try to derail the conversation. I guess it's kind of on topic. But anyway, so when you have all these tethers, these racists and these white supremacists come up here, and they always say this old dumb, out-of-dated 90s racist ass stereotype, and then you come back with some actual facts and shut they stupid asses down. Now, you do.
Thank you, E. Nice, for joining.
Tell the truth about that. But my thing is, where do we have meet on the middle ground? And when I say we don't meet on the middle ground, because we know like the white people and white supremacists, when they deal with statistics, they like the 70% us to death. They like to lie on us all the time. But sometimes they do report the truth, but they just don't promote it. So what would be the middle ground to use that against white supremacy?
Yeah, good question. White supremacists and their tethers, because tethers are wannabe white supremacists, they're pathological liars. All right. We can shut them down very easily. Like last night, these white supremacists talking all that welfare shit, and I'm hitting them with the real welfare stats. They're here talking about some welfare is reparations, dude. White people get more welfare than anybody. The welfare capital is Owsley County, Kentucky, where 95% of the people on welfare, and the place is 99% white. They are the kings, and welfare was designed for them. All right, we couldn't even get welfare in the early days of welfare, because they excluded us from that, welfare and Social Security, by the way. So we just hit them with that, and they'll just go to the next I'm white and I say so narrative. But all you got to do is hit them with this. Okay, well, what you going to do about it? What should be done about it? If we got all this going on and we so damn violent, then what should be done about it? Now, let's get to the doing. And that usually shuts them down, because the name of the game is for them to just be perpetually antagonistic. You understand? And just project a bunch of stuff on us so they can feel better. Again, they always have to talk about us because we're the soul of this nation, ladies and gentlemen. I want y'all to understand something. We as Foundational Black Americans, we are literally.
So, Nelson, are you trying to say that the veteran was autistic? I'm kind of lost at your comment.
The soul and center of this country. Do y'all understand that?
Pow happened in North Lauderdale, Florida today. And the person was unalive. 62-year-old brat, white Caucasian man, and the shooter was a black woman. And it appears that they were arguing over a parking space at Walmart.
That's crazy.
It's sad because life means nothing to people anymore. However, a video was produced, and from my understanding, allegedly, the way his car was positioned, he was trying to hurry up and get in a parking spot, and she zoomed up in there, or however it happened. She ended up in the parking spot. So Brad, the 62-year-old veteran,
okay,
Army
Nelson.
sergeant. He is a veteran Army sergeant, and he was a trauma nurse before that, I believe, in the military. He didn't like that. And he approached her several times. From my understanding, she got on the phone, she called 911, and she was saying she was in distress. I need the police here now. This guy is approaching me. I have a weapon. I don't know what he's going to do to me. And I'm going to use my weapon that I have licensed to me. Now, I don't want to hear people hollering about it's not self-defense, it's self-defense, because the last I checked, the Republican Party made it legal for people to carry their pop-outs. Now, my question, before we go into this argument all over the internet tonight and the rest of the year, and something else going to happen and something else going to happen, why did they make it legal?
Thank you, George, for getting up here and participating. I greatly appreciate it. Guys, the phone line is still open, 682-812-9713.
They say citizens can carry pawpaws. When do you supposed to use it? That's my question. When do you use your pawpaw? Do you have to physically wait for someone to touch you? Do you have to be on the ground with your face in the dirt? I mean, when do you use this pawpaw? For everybody that's going to argue, that ain't self-defense. Well, what is self-defense? They didn't make it clear when they made the pawpaws legal. But they all talking about the Democrat Party, right? But the Republicans the ones put the pawpaws out on the street. And look at people. They're going crazy. You know, sometimes having that pawpaw give you courage that you normally wouldn't have.
True that.
Having
True
that
that.
pawpaw make you stand your grounds.
I'm going to tell you what, guys. I've said this in other videos, okay? I'm a small framed woman, okay? I always keep something on me. If by chance you catch me out, I don't have my shit on me, you would notice my demeanor is a little different, okay? I am not as vocal if I don't have my stuff on me, okay?
You know, in any other setting, she may have went in the store and got the manager if she didn't have that pop out.
True that.
You know, she wouldn't have stood around and argued with him. But since she had it, she felt the need to say, hey, you not scaring me. I got a pop out.
There you
better
go.
get away from me.
There
That's
you
my
go.
rights, which it is, because y'all made it legal. So this is the problem. So either we're going to fix pow control, or we going to be the Wild Wild West. What is it going to be? What do y'all want for America? So a military sergeant is gone. And from the video
Senseless.
that I watched, from the little clippings that I did see and people sent to me, it appears he was the aggressor.
He was.
The aggressor.
He was.
was walking up to this woman.
He was.
And she pretty much was telling him, get back. Get away from me.
There you go.
See, it's the same thing with Karmelo Anthony, y'all.
True
And
that.
that's the part y'all don't want to hear. Because y'all think it's about this. We're not taking up for someone because of their skin color. To me, that's absolutely ridiculous, when I know there's a lot of people around here that does that. But I'm not one of them people. Right is right, wrong is wrong. If you do
True
wrong,
as that.
you're going to jail.
True that.
If you did right, you did right. Don't matter if somebody got hurt. Hey, that's what it is. That's life. You cannot get in people's personal space, Karen. I hope these Karen and Beckys learn something, because we have thousands of videos of them walking up in people's face, thinking, I don't know.
I totally agree with you, Wild L23. Self-defense is not the Wild Wild West. It sure isn't. This lady, she pulled out that gun. That guy was like about to lunge towards her. He had her bobbing and weaving in between cars before she unalived him.
I can't speak for people, but it appears to me that they think we still in slavery.
I totally agree with you, E-Nice. I totally agree with you.
Because it's always brown people they approach. I done seen a few videos, probably one or two, but it's hardly ever a Karen or a Becky walking up to a Caucasian person asking them for their slave papers.
There you go.
I don't know who told people that they can walk up to a total stranger. You got to be mentally ill walking up to a total stranger and said, who are you? What are you doing here? A stranger? Don't you learn that stranger danger when you little?
Exactly.
That you're not even supposed to communicate with strangers. You don't know this person. This person could be Ted Bundy. He could be Michael Myers. You don't know who you talking to. Not only do you get in their face, you get disrespectful.
True that.
I seen a Karen try to take a chair at the pool from a kid, and his brother is recording saying, my brother is a minor. She pretty much like, so I don't care. And there was several other chairs empty. I want this chair. She's snatching it from this kid. Thank God his black mama didn't walk up, because it would have been a problem. And this is where y'all come in and say we're hood rats and we fight all the time. I mean, damn, what we supposed to do? Just get beat up?
We want to be treated right just like everybody else. Don't put your motherfucking hands on me. Don't talk crazy to me. And you live to see another day. That's just what it is.
So if she's telling this man, get out my tent. See, I use that because that's what Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf said to Karmelo. Get out of our tent. They didn't want him in their space, right? Nobody looking at what they did wrong. They had the right, in y'all eyes, to tell somebody to get out their space. That's their tent. This is my space. This is my tent. So I have the right to tell you to get out of my tent. And what did they do next? They grabbed Karmelo because he was in their tent. What did she do? She pop-out because he was in her tent.
Not the pop-out.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Y'all fighting tooth and nails for Karmelo to stay in jail. But I promise you, this case here, y'all about to be fit. Y'all about to just, lock her up. This another one. Oh, these black people that went crazy. And then the lies. I just can't handle the lies, man. If y'all go talk about history, if you go talk about crime, if you go talk about people out of control, could you please be honest? Because we have children watching this, and what you're going to do is have a bunch of children that go to school and they're going to try to
Confused.
unalive each other off your lies. It was an African man on here earlier with a whole video just to get clicking views, but he really believed that because Africans don't like black people.
True that.
They don't. They think they're better than us. Some. He made a whole viral video saying that we're heathens, and he showed black girls fighting, saying white people would never do that. I said, really? So what happened at the Capitol building?
They don't
What
want
happened
to.
to Emmett
They
Till?
don't want you to bring that shit up.
What happened to Black Wall Street? And this just stuff that I'm just throwing off my top of my head. What happened down in Alabama when they jumped that black security guard and all the black people had to jump in? So stop lying. Do you know I done went past people drinking that was this color, and they were busting each other in the head with bottles and everything. The police had to come and get them under control. That's what I say. I can't take the lies. Stop acting like we some wild animals out of control and everybody else is tamed and saved.
True that.
What is wrong with you guys?
Cray
And
cray.
this is why the hate won't stop, because of the false narrative that y'all putting out in the world. Instead of saying people, all color, all race, all gender, some people got issues. Criminals come in every color, every race, every sex. It's no such thing as the Caucasian people don't do nothing. Because we can go all the way back to the beginning. What did they do to the indigenous people? Did they not jump them? They didn't just jump them. They unalived them. And they stole the land.
True
Y'all
that.
keep forgetting they kicked it off. No, that's history. We ain't going to talk about that. We can't. Y'all always bringing up old stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's how y'all feel about the things you do. Don't talk about that. Don't talk about the Capitol building. That didn't count.
That just happened. Don't play.
Grown men pulled a kid out the house and
That's
became
sad.
unrecognizable. Don't talk about him. Oh, we ain't gonna talk about Black Wall Street. Y'all be talking about old stuff all the time. Let's not leave that alone. So the stuff that happened to us, we supposed to just say
Sweep it under the rug.
Now that we have different kind of people, we have people that really don't even fear God out here. They will fight you. They will pow you. They will hurt you. Now is the problem. But when y'all was running around here policing slaves and having paws on slaves and blowing their foot off and putting them decorations on trees, y'all forgot about that. It was okay. And don't say that's history, because they just found a girl from Flint, Michigan.
George, yes, that Aubrey case was really, really sad. That was probably one of the saddest things I have seen in a long time. Really sad.
During Juneteenth, June 19th that just passed, 2026, decoration from a tree. And they keep finding our young men decoration from the tree. Black folks, that's not black folks' work. See, we know our work like you know your work. We don't work like that. We're not putting in that much work. Getting a rope, pulling it, putting a body on it. We don't do that. Black folks just come to you and pop. I'm finna go home and give me a beer. That's what they do.
Ooh, she's speaking the truth.
Work like that, we know where it came from. And then the news lied, it was suicide. What I know about my people, that's too much work. I'm gonna climb up on that tree. I'm gonna put a rope that's strong enough.
We ain't about to do that.
Around this branch in the middle of nowhere, and I'm gonna climb up on that tree and I'm gonna jump.
We not about to do that.
The bridge first. Do you understand me? They'd take some fentanyl. They would OD off some Krugs. That ain't our work. So stop lying. But y'all want us to believe that false narrative that you guys don't do anything wrong.
True that.
So of course we got a bunch of racial shit going on. Of course people that's licensed to carry. That's the reason they're licensed to carry, to protect their person. Their person is their body around my area. You can't get too close to me and I don't know you, because if you get too close and you're an Army veteran, you can crack my neck. I'm not supposed to wait until you put your hands on me.
True that.
For you to be a threat. The threat is you walking up on me and I'm telling you to get back.
Exactly.
But y'all don't want to believe that. Then y'all say, no, you can't pretty much bring a pawpaw to a fist fight. Says who? Why did we have it? So I gotta wait till you knock me out and then gain conscience to go get my pawpaw? Oh no, when you a man and you do something to me, I gotta go get my brother to make it equal. I'm just trying to understand that this logical thinking that y'all.
You might not be alive to go get your brother. Okay? You might not be alive to get your brother. And guys, I've said this in a lot of videos that I make. I carry some shit on me at all times. Okay? And you will notice that my octave is not that damn high if I don't have my shit on me. If I have my shit on me, I'm talking shit to your ass all day long. You're not about to talk to me crazy, and you're not about to put your damn hands on me. That is not going to happen.
I have. Who said if you poke me, I gotta make sure when you poke me with your pointing finger, let me poke you back with my pointing finger. Oh, you slap me, well, you use 3 fingers, let me use 3, because if I use 4, I'm gonna get in trouble. Who told y'all that's how fights go? Fight is like court. You don't know how you gonna come out.
True that.
Somebody might slap you, and the other person might run you over with a car. That's why it's very important. It's very important, people, to leave people alone. That's just the easy solution to this problem.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Just horrible. Instead of just using common sense and being good people. All you have to do is be responsible for you. Don't be responsible for your entire race. And this is where the problem coming in at. Y'all think y'all have to fight for an entire race. I'm not fighting for an entire race, because I know people in my race that's crazy as hell. I know people in my family that's stupid. So I'm not going to say black people don't do nothing. Black people do a lot of stuff. But when you've been oppressed all your life, and you in poverty, and you the bottom of the barrel, and they make life hard for you to get jobs, you can't stay in certain areas, you get judged, you get questioned, you might just be mad and just want to fight everybody. Am I making an excuse? No, that's what happened when you were oppressed. And y'all say, well, y'all was oppressed during slavery. We still oppressed to this day.
True that.
Oppressed to this day. I just seen a guy talking about Donald Trump had a meeting, and he had something like, what are they called now? It's a new name. It ain't the Proud Boys. He got a whole new group of men. And they acting like the Proud Boys, not the Proud Boys, the Rough Riders from the 1800s.
Really?
Who was racist, didn't like black people, and was doing evil, wicked stuff on this land. He got them behind him, and he the president of the United States. Do y'all know how horrible that is for real? I don't care if you racist right now. For real, do you know how horrible it is? And you call yourself a Christian. Dig deep down inside of you tonight and say, what would Jesus think about?
True that. I like her too, E-Nice. She's speaking the truth all day long.
Approve of this? Will he approve of people hating other sets of people and think they can run folks? And if you don't do what I say, I'm going to unalive you. Unfair justice. What would Jesus do? Y'all wonder why I keep bringing up God? Because that's what's missing in the world today. We can make video after video. People can go viral. Somebody can have a video this high, some this low. Your opinion over here, my opinion.
While L23 said at this point, no more non-black friends for me, because even the non-racist ones will send you to prison for 35 years for no reason. Shit, that's true.
You an N-word, you a crack, or whatever. We can go all day long, but the main ingredient that's missing is God. If people have more God in them, they know how to move better. They know how to think. And all you got to do is repent and ask God to use you. But people hate our way, logic. So that's what make America so horrible. But some people in their mind think making America great again is oppressing a certain race of people. What make you so great over somebody else? Is that in the word? Can you show me scripture? Can you show me scripture? That's why I be throwing scripture at these demons. I be like, you know what? I ain't gonna argue with you. I'm gonna let Jesus whoop you. Here you go. Bond, take that, take that, take that. Read these scriptures. And you know what they say to me? Just because you're.
So Tina said you would get more views if you would have more content than that damned Karmelo Anthony. I feel for the person who accidentally bumps you in a crowd. May he or she rest in peace. So are you trying to say that Karmelo Anthony was accidentally bumped? Is that what you're trying to say? I really can't follow you. You're going to have to take the caps off, girlfriend, because guess what? YouTube is going to block you from being able to send messages. So can you take the caps off and tell me what you're talking about? Are you trying to tell me that he was accidentally bumped?
No scripture don't mean you know Jesus. Well, I know him more than you, because I'm not running around here preaching hate. I might sound like I am. I'm just pointing out what's going on. And it's not going to stop until people start loving God. That's just the beginning, a parking spot. Now just think about who was raised as a army brat, a Navy brat. Hey, they dad or mom was in the military. I'm gonna give y'all a story. You know I'm a storyteller. I'm gonna give y'all a story of a person I know that was in the military. I think he was in the army. But in a minute I'll tell y'all the story. But how I'm asking you this, what's their demeanor? How they act? What's their personality? My father was Navy. They're very controlling people, especially a sergeant.
They can be, yes.
Everybody got to listen to them.
True that.
So he's probably hollering at that woman, going crazy on her, thinking that's one of his soldiers. You better bow down to me. I am a military sergeant, bitch.
True that.
Do you know I fought for this country? He was treating her like she was one of his soldiers.
I agree. That's probably what happened.
Military. So I can imagine that authority. He was a sergeant. That authority. He may not even had the intentions of hurting her, but he wanted her to submit and bow down because that's his position. Do you understand me? And she looking at it like, I don't know you. She didn't know he was an army soldier.
True that.
Sergeant. She didn't know that. She don't know him. She probably would have gave him a little bit more respect if she knew that. But she didn't know. And he, to be a sergeant, over all these soldiers he didn't have to deal with, he should have had a little bit more self-control. He should have been like, you know what? You was wrong.
Welcome back, Ma of Dos. Greatly appreciate you being here.
You took my parking space, but since you're a woman, I'm going to park over here. He'll still be living right now. Do y'all see the smallest?
Guys, we got a caller. Let's check it out. Caller, this is Kelly from Why I Killed You TV. Who's calling?
How you doing? Good morning, Miss Kelly. This is E Nice.
Hey, E Nice. What's going on with you?
Hey, man. I wanted to talk to you before I get to cook me some food real quick.
Okay.
She sounds great, and she is right about military personnel in a way that we. All right, I can tell the story real quick. I was a E3, and another guy was an E4. Evidently, he was a Caucasian. I didn't make it to E4 the first time. He made it. As soon as he put that chevron on his arm, he said, "I'm not asking you to do it. I'm telling you to do it."
I believe it.
When we went, whatever he was doing in our area, whatever. I looked at him and just left. But I see when they start getting rank, like, I agree with the woman. If you chase me, if you follow me, I don't even know about chase, around my car and I have my weapon in my hand, you must want to see my weapon.
True that. Yeah, I believe, because I'm military just like you. I believe sometimes a lot of people let that rank go to their head. And that's probably what happened. And, I'm believing that this is self-defense, but I also believe that this lady is going to be in big trouble. They're going to figure out a way where she going to be in big trouble for this situation. This is what I'm thinking.
If she has a license for that gun, she should be good. Because, like I said, he chased her around that car 2 or 3 times. Like I seen her circle around the car, and he's still stalking. So if I had a girlfriend, a mother, a daughter, handle your business.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you so much for participating.
All right, I'll probably call back a little later if you let me.
No, we've been on here for I don't know how many hours, 2.5 hours.
I've been looking for you too.
Huh?
I was looking for you last night because I wake up around 4 o'clock in the morning.
I was live last night too, so I don't know what happened. But anyway, I got about another 20 minutes and I'm out. But I greatly appreciate you participating up in here. You always do. Thank you so much.
Every day you here, I'm here.
All right,
let's get that man off. Let's get that man off that verdict because, like they saying, it's a lot of suspect things going on. Oh, I'm sorry, that knife. They keep taking a picture of the knife where it's folded down.
Right.
To make that injury, that knife should have been up, and it's in a locked position when it's on up.
Exactly.
So it shouldn't have been unlocked. And then why is the bag not open? That bag should have been open, not closed.
True that. Because when did he have time to put the knife almost in the closed position after allegedly stabbing him? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Nah, that don't make sense. Yeah, and then like I said, that's a replicate knife. Why they didn't have a real knife up there? And then one time they showed a picture, the tent was moved. Like I was saying, the real knife was supposed to be up there, but it was in the rain. So how you got body matter on the knife and it's in the rain?
Exactly. And it looks like Ma of Doris, she's saying that she's agreeing with what you just said. And thank you, Ma of Doris, for the donation. I greatly appreciate it. And we also got zoo tours in the camp as well. They're saying they try to make it whenever a black person legally defends themselves, they are going to throw them in jail. And I agree. I believe that to the fullest. That's why I think this lady's going to be in trouble.
She can't. To me, I don't think she can because, like I said, she backed up 2 or 3 times. You walked up on that lady 4 or 5, more than 10 feet. I seen you take steps when the girl had a gun in her hand. That's your problem, homeboy.
We're about to see. It sounds good on paper.
Yes, man.
We about to see. All right. Thank you so much, E-Nice. I greatly appreciate it. All right.
See you later, Kelly.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, guys, let's finish up this video. We got about 20 more minutes up in this camp, guys. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And, guys, my contact information is here. And, guys, you can still get on the mic. If you want to get on here and comment, the number is 682-812-9713. Thank you so much, Ma Abdos. I greatly appreciate you, girlfriend.
Little things can save your life. It ain't about I'm white and you're black and you gotta do the smallest little thing can save your life. My father always taught us it take a bigger man to walk away.
True that.
Pride to get you killed.
True that.
Your dignity and your pride, it's a lot of people in the cemetery because of their pride. It's a lot of people doing life in prison because of pride. Did she do everything right? No, because if it was me, and I've been there before. My daughter have too. We didn't argue over parking spots and blah, 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 blah. When I see it getting heated, I'm stupid. I start laughing and signifying. I talk about your shoes. And while I'm walking away. And I didn't made up my mind. I don't know about you guys. The world is so dangerous. I didn't made up my mind that when I'm in a situation, I'm Karen. Yeah, my name is not Nina anymore. I just turned it to Karen. I will fall out on that damn concrete and get to screaming and hollering and kicking out to get all the attention around me. They gonna think I'm crazy. Call me Karen. I'll be going around on the ground like a fish. I bet you get away from me. Like I seen 2 content creators, the funniest thing, and I told me and my daughter, we're gonna do it. You know what these 2 white women did to keep from being kidnapped? They got out the car and they were scared. They was on vacation. And they came up with a plan. They didn't have no weapon. They said, we in another country. So let's do something. I got a good idea. Guess what they did? They got out their car and started acting retarded.
That's too funny.
Walking down the street till they got to their hotel. Everybody's looking at them like, they retarded. Now, we ain't messing with them. One was digging in their nose. One was scratching.
Oh, my
Leave
God.
them alone.
Oh, my God.
Simple like that. I said, I'm gonna catch retarded.
Zootor says, I am glad Karmelo defended himself. I don't want to see another summer where a young black man will be reduced to a hashtag after being murdered. I totally agree with you. I'm glad he defended himself, and I'm hoping that this new defense team that he got is going to get him off. Okay? Off totally. No manslaughter, no murder, no reduced time. I want him to get off. I'm behind Karmelo Anthony 1,000% because I do believe that he was defending himself.
But based on everything I have seen, this man, whatever argument that they got into, he chased her down. He approached her without ceasing while she had a gun in her hand, trying to avoid him.
Ooh, that's your ass.
With the Broward Sheriff's Office say Monday, a woman and 62-year-old Bart DiGuglielmo were arguing over a parking spot when the woman pulled out a gun. Video provided by witnesses show the 62-year-old fall to the ground bleeding from his stomach area. The father of 3 would eventually die from his injuries.
To the first story at hand, and this is the story that has a lot of controversy, whether or not this young lady was justified in shooting this guy in a parking lot. Let me start with this. It's sad because somebody died and somebody has to live with the fact that they killed somebody over a parking
It's sad.
spot. I want to employ to you guys. I know you want to slap people and cuss them out when they do things. I do. I had to ask God for forgiveness. I be wanting to run people off the road and turn their car into a smoldering fireball. But you have to use common sense and think these things through. I was talking to my wife about somebody that I want to slap when I see them in person, but I'm not going to do it because I'm a good Christian. But you have to think about what will happen and the unintentional consequences of doing some of the things out of anger, right? I slap a person and I'm thinking, I'm just going to slap this person.
I think this guy is a police officer in real life. I'm not sure, but I think he's a police officer.
You slap them, you knock them out, they bump their head on the ground, they die. Now you didn't want to go to prison for life for killing somebody because you were angry and think you were going to just do one thing and it led to another. All right, let me stop talking and get to the story. Roll it.
A father of 3 losing his life over a parking spot. And tonight, the woman accused of shooting him claims that she fired in self-defense. Local 10's Rochelo spoke exclusively to the victim's daughter. He's live down in North Lauderdale with what the video shows. Rush.
So you just mentioned this, and this is important. This woman is claiming self-defense. She'll have to argue that she had a fear, an imminent fear for her life. Well, tonight, we have the video, and you'll see it for yourself. And what we also have tonight are the words of the victim's daughter. And you'll see how heartbroken she is. The backstory on this case, she was estranged from her dad for many years.
Who cares?
Recently,
Nobody
they were
cares
trying
about
to
that.
rebuild their lives when he lost his life. We're going to start this with the video. The victim with the gray shirt. The woman with the gun. There is a standoff, and then the shooting. You can hear it.
He was a good man.
A daughter in tears. Amanda lost her 62-year-old father, Bart, shot in the stomach in a Walmart parking lot in North
Because he's out there acting a fool.
Anybody deserves to lose their life over a parking spot.
Cops say an adult female and the victim were involved in a verbal altercation over a parking space in the Walmart parking lot prior to the shooting.
I don't like to deal with death and like talk.
Mob Doris, you are the second one. Well, no, you're about the third one to say the man looked like he was sauced up. I'm thinking he might have been drunk. He was probably getting ready to celebrate the 4th of July weekend, but he never lived to see the 4th of July.
About it at all. That's why I was very hesitant to do this interview.
But you are doing it. Why do you want to speak about your dad?
Because I want my dad to be remembered for who he was and not who the media is portraying him to be.
According to investigators, the shooter, the adult female, remained on scene, cooperated with detectives, and she told them the shooting was in self-defense.
He loved his country. He loved his country.
Bart served in the military. There are no charges in this case at this point. Amanda says she was estranged from her dad for many years.
Okay.
But recently...
So, she's estranged from her dad. They got back together. He's turned his life around like we hear all the time. Everybody always turn their life around when they get killed. But this situation, based on what I'm observing, this
Y'all
to be a self-defense claim.
It does.
I mean, you got to think, in the state of Florida, they have stand your ground laws. What does stand your ground laws mean? That means you do not have a duty to retreat. So if you decided to stand here and a person is encroaching on you, you don't have to run. You don't have to avoid them. You can stand right here and stand your ground. And if they encroach upon you and you believe that you could suffer serious bodily injury, which means the guy can beat you half to death or kill you, you can utilize deadly force in self-defense. And so based on what I know and what we can see here, this looks like self-defense to me. Now, there are other contributing factors that could lead this to not being self-defense, meaning that if where he was walking was to his own vehicle and she shot him, that would preclude this from being self-defense. I don't know what conversations they had before this turned violent, which could also be a contributing factor of whether or not this is self-defense. But based on everything I have seen, this man, whatever argument that they got into, he chased her down. He approached her without ceasing while she had a gun in her hand, trying to avoid him.
True that.
This is almost textbook self-defense. You have a right to pull a gun out and threaten serious bodily injury to somebody that you think is going to attack you. And then once you point the gun at them and tell them to stop, and they chase you around a car and they keep chasing you, and your back is against the wall, you have nowhere else to go, there's no duty to retreat, and you shoot the guy one time to stop him from encroaching on you, that to me sounds like self-defense. Let's watch the video.
A
We'll watch
witness
it again.
captured the shooting on a cell phone. And videos
Okay,
from
pause right here. As you can see, they seem to have gotten into a conflict at some place in this parking lot. But look at what he's doing and look at what she's doing. He's walking around the car and she's trying to
Following
walk
her
away from him.
ass. Yeah.
You can't say that that's his car or her car because neither one of them ended at the car that we're looking at right here. So she's moving in the direction. He's following her. Watch it.
Cameras on a nearby Tesla show the crime as it happened. A man and a woman are arguing. The man
right
is
here.
seen.
She's backing away from him. It looked like he followed her around the car.
He did.
And she's still backing away from him, and he's still going towards her around this car. Keep watching.
Walking toward the woman, follows her around a vehicle.
Time out.
A few moments.
She's moving away from him. She's turning her back to him. She's walking away. What is he doing?
Being the aggressor.
Why is he still approaching a woman with a gun in her hand? This, to me, this puts you in a particular mindset.
That you crazy.
What is his mentality?
That you crazy.
They're arguing over a parking spot, and he's continuously approaching her as she's backing away with a gun in her hand. This man is going to approach her even now when he gets shot. What is he planning on doing if she don't move? Is he going to put his hands on her? He clearly don't care.
I think he was trying to take the gun from her and try to be some big ass hero right there in the Walmart parking lot. That's what I'm thinking was happening. Because other than that, this guy is crazy. He might have been sauced up on something.
She got a gun in her hand. To me, that heightens the suspicion of how violent is this guy that he's going to approach a person with a gun pointed at him. And here's a little bit more of the video. Roll it.
Later, investigators say she shot him. A relative sent us this picture of Bart DeGuglia.
They're trying to make his image look better. Only objection that I would have to this being self-defense, go back a little bit to the clip where they're standing in front of the car. The only way I could see this turning poorly.
The whole thing in a nutshell, George, they're trying to bring up the fact that he was military so this lady can get in trouble. Okay, I'm in the military. Okay, I'm retired military. And so is E-Nice. They're just trying to bring that shit up to have some sympathy on this crazy ass man.
For her. Can play the clip?
A few moments later, investigators.
Pause. As if that white car is his vehicle. That's the only thing that I could see that could cause this woman to end up getting charged, is that if that man was going back to his own vehicle, which is this white
That's
car,
her car. That's
and
her
she's
car.
standing there and she decides to shoot him and not allowing him to get back in his own car, and his argument, or the argument from
That's her
the
car.
prosecution would be, is that the man was not a threat to her. The man is just walking to get into his car and she shot him. That's the only thing that can get this woman hemmed up. But if that's not his car right there, and she has been dodging him, walking away from him with the gun in her hand, and he approaches her for the last time, she don't have to wait to get beat up. She don't have to wait for him to pull a gun. She don't have to wait for any of those things. If she fears serious bodily injury or death, she can utilize deadly force against this man. And a man of his size, maybe she can argue that she was intimidated and she was afraid he was going to do something. Who knows what he said? He could have been saying, "I'm going to kill you."
Totally.
We don't know.
What started as a dispute over a parking spot ended with gunfire, a man dead, and a confrontation caught on camera. And investigators are now sorting through the disturbing new evidence.
NBC6's Steve Litz has a chilling video and explains why the shooter says that she acted in self-defense.
A witness captured the shooting on a cell phone.
Mob Doss, you correct. They are gonna try to figure out why didn't she just get back in the car and leave? Why should she have to leave? She shouldn't have to leave. Okay? She should not have to. Why are we always the ones that got to leave? That shit pisses me off.
And videos from cameras on a nearby Tesla show the crime as it happened. A man and a woman are arguing. The man is seen walking toward the woman, follows her around a vehicle. A few moments later, investigators say she shot him. A relative sent us this picture of Bart DeGuglielmo. He died from his injuries. It happened yesterday in the middle of the day in the Walmart Supercenter parking lot on McNabb Road near Rock Island Road in North Lauderdale.
When I came, there was police officers everywhere, and I did hear a woman screaming and crying, and she was saying something, but I couldn't, but it was...
Mob Doss, evidently, the Tesla, I'm not sure what kind of car it was, but you're saying it was a Tesla. It only had audio when it came to the gunshot. It didn't have any audio when they were talking outside of it. That's weird.
Coherent to me what she was saying.
Deputies confirm the woman and DeGuglielmo exchanged words over a parking spot and then the shooting. She waited for police to arrive, then told them she shot in self-defense. Tonight she's not in jail. Prosecutors will decide if she should face criminal charges or not. The name of that woman has not been released, but that video seems to show her placing the gun on a car and then waiting for police to arrive. It also seems to show her taunting the man while he's on the ground. More on this one as our coverage continues at 6. Reporting from North Lauderdale, I'm Steve Litz, NBC6 News.
Very disturbing.
Oh man, this here comes by surprise. We ain't heard nothing like this happening in a long time, man. This Walmart parking lot incident reminds me, take me back to the Trayvon.
Guys, I do not shop at Walmart for the fear of some shit like this is going to jump off. My mother and my brother live up at Walmart. I just went to Walmart 2 days ago and I was scared as hell. I got my 2 items and got the hell on out of there. It's just too many stories going on at the damn Walmart.
Martin Days, Florida is at it again. OG, you there?
Come on, OG.
OG is going down. Al Capizzi is in the building too, man. Al Capizzi. Listen, man, I'm looking at this and I'm telling you right now, man, it's a bad situation for both parties. The families of both of these people today are in disarray because this here is crazy work in a parking lot. I have got into it with folks over parking spots. You know, I was gonna park there. I was here first. I had my signal light on. I'm gonna turn in right there. You swoop in before me. Hey, man, what you doing, bruh? You could have hit my car. And next thing you know, he out, you know, trying to figure out, wait, man, what you doing?
So, too much drama at Walmart.
Hey, man, parking spot ain't worth your life, man.
Yeah, man, but it cost him heels, man.
Serious, man.
Let me ask you something, OG. When you look at this right here, this woman here, she stood her ground, man, and she at home right now, and I believe she'll be all right, man, because he was moving towards her when she took the shot on him, as you can see on the video.
No, she's going to the...
She stood her ground. But I don't think she's gonna be all right. I think she's gonna be in some big trouble for what happened. Okay, they have a way of flipping shit on our asses, and we about to see.
Catch your shit on stay but a day.
What?
There you go.
That's excessive over argument and that over argument of a parking space. Looking at her, and it says the family members reported identified Don Diego as a retired U.S. Army Staff Sergeant, former trauma nurse. He was a Christian man, a very good person that wouldn't hurt anyone. Don Diego's sister, who didn't want to share her full name.
You right, Mob Dose. She told him to stop, and he kept on coming. That's your ass. But wait and see. She gonna be in trouble. That's what I think. That's my honest opinion. She gonna be in trouble.
Like, man, she's sitting up in there shoplifting at Walmart.
What the hell?
Oh my God.
Hold up. Where the shoplifting come from? Oh, y'all didn't know she got a case for shoplifting?
Stop lying. Stop lying.
Out there trying to find a pump. I don't even think she even made it in the damn Walmart. This guy was worrying her from the jump. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who was in the wrong because I don't hear the audio, but somebody has the audio too. And that audio is going to come out. They didn't play the audio. They should have played the audio. I hate when these things happen and they play games with these video footage because they don't want the truth to get out.
True that.
Something was said. What were they saying to each other? Why was this happening like this?
This is what was said.
Why we can't hear the whole thing? We heard the gunshot and nothing else. That's weird.
Walking up and heard a lady screaming. David Anderson, a witness, told CBS News she was screaming and she was saying a lot of things. She was saying a lot of things. That's what David
she's saying. Stand back, get back, leave me alone. I'm in fear of my life. I'm in fear of my life. Stand back, stand back. That's what she's saying because she taught to say that. She got a gun license. She got everything she's supposed to have. She parked at a parking spot. For some reason, this cat right here, and God rest his soul, she called the authorities right after that, but he was pretty much pursuing her. You can clearly see it in the video. I just hate that it came to this, but he should have went the other way.
He should have.
He seen the gun. He kept attacking. I don't know if he had mental illness issues or what, but coming toward this woman like that when you see her with a firearm clearly shows he had something else on his mind, and that lady felt in danger. And I'm gonna be honest with you.
Right, boss.
If it was my wife or somebody and a man was coming at him,
true.
They definitely need to defend. They said, we don't know what this fool was fit to do. Excuse my language, this man.
What you said.
Man, I don't like this,
said,
man.
Boss, you right. I'm with Boss OG. He shouldn't have been walking up on him, man. I don't care who you with. Carmelo Anthony was right and defending himself in the penitentiary.
You got to forgive on that. That's different.
We talking about a woman. That lady, you look at her, she been fighting all her life. She found like Sophie on Color Purple. Hold on, man. Did you know her?
No, he don't know her. He just talking crazy. And that's why these folks be in the comments on his ass right there for saying stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you something, man. This woman right here,
she about to be in trouble.
Mother.
She about to be in trouble.
It's somebody's aunt. It's somebody's friend. It's somebody who had never probably ever had to do that in her life.
True
and
that.
For her to have to take it there right now, that's affecting her life. Her life will never be the same again. And for this guy right here to keep walking toward her, and she out there in the middle of a parking lot, we already been through enough with people that don't look like us. As a woman, she felt threatened. And people are getting tired. Enough is enough, man. We don't know what he's going to do to this woman, man.
His life would never be the same either.
Yeah, but
he go, and I don't mean to laugh, but something's wrong with this man. I don't know if he's drunk or whatever the case may be. Maybe he got post-traumatic stress disorder, whatever the case may be. And I've said this before. Maybe he was trying to take the gun out of her hand to be some big ass hero in the damn parking lot of Walmart. But whatever the case may be, something's wrong with him.
Okay, but is that enough to die for? It shouldn't have came to that, but you shouldn't be walking up on people, man.
True that.
Telling you back up, and you kind of walking up on there. At some point, like, man, what they about to do to me? What are you about to do to me? Y'all ain't never walked up on somebody and they told you to stand back, and you done sock people all upside the head and you was in the wrong.
I was in the wrong, but I slapped them with a gun. They didn't have no gun. I slapped them all upside the head with it.
This poor man just asked her, "Man, why did you take my phone?"
No, that man ain't
He
taking that.
ain't said
I
no.
can't wait till this
I could tell from both of their demeanors. Neither one of them was talking calm. They were arguing.
video come out.
He had a crutch and everything. But oh man, OG, he was handicapped. He was handicapped, bro.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't handicapped. He was walking.
A handicapped parking space with no handicap stick.
Okay, guys, we're gonna take this last phone call. All right, caller.
My name is Eric. I'm calling from Michigan.
How you doing?
I'm okay. Let me turn my TV down.
Okay.
You know what? I don't know if you guys remember a case out in Florida. It was probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and this young black man, a white guy, accosted him in a what is that restaurant out there? It's Waffle House. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And the black guy shot him, and he got off. And yeah, look it up, and it had video and everything. So I think Florida stands by the stand your ground law. I mean, this guy, he's walking up on her. He had every chance. I mean, what's he, like, they'll probably look and be like, well, what was she supposed to do?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I've said this before. It looked good on paper, and I hope that's what happened, because to me, it does look like it was self-defense, but you know how sometimes that go for us. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we used to them flipping it in certain states, but I think Florida really stands by. They stand your ground, and by it being a video and everything. I don't know if you remember the parking lot vigilante out there in Florida. I think it was, I can't remember, Credence, Florida, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up shooting a young black guy because God must have had a problem. And the black guy, girlfriend, they were in the vehicle, they parked in the handicap space, and the guy went in the store. And the white guy when the guy came out the store, he was arguing at his girlfriend. And the guy, he went and defended his girlfriend, and the guy pulled out a gun and shot him. Now, that guy got 20 years for it.
Wow.
But he initiated it, and they had, they had a record of him being a parking lot vigilante.
Wow.
So he did get 20 years. But if you can look up the case with the Waffle House where the young black guy got off, this had to been about, like I say, 5 or 6 years ago.
All right. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the information. And you know what? Zoo Tor set up here and says nothing good happens at Waffle House. Anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Waffle House, and and like you said, Walmart, and we had a Walmart right near where I live at, but they took it away and moved a little further. I'm just not a Walmart person either. I might go there once or twice a year because it's not that close to me anyway.
Yeah,
so,
that's me. It's just too much happens. It's
always a Walmart in Florida, though.
I was there 2 days ago, and I'm looking all around. I had got my mind stuck on 2 items. I got my 2 items. I got the heck on out of there. Just nothing good happens at Walmart.
Right.
So thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you getting on here. All right.
All right. Thank you. You have a good morning.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Anyway, guys, we got some good comments coming up here, guys. We're about to close this thing down in another 2 minutes, guys. Make sure you go ahead, like, comment, share, and subscribe.
And he asked her about, look, lady, you ain't got no sticker on your car. You handicapped. And she shot the shit out that poor man.
OG and Al Capizzi. Let me ask y'all this. The sheriff's office said homicide detectives are investigating the shooting. Once the investigation is complete, the case will be presented to the Broward State Attorney's Office, which will determine whether criminal charges are warranted. So they got a process that they have to do. Right now, she at home in fear of her life. And let me just say this, Al Capizzi, then you answer me on it. Do you feel like she got anything to worry about, or you think they'll come back and say, hey, man, you had to do what you had to do?
It was a black woman, right?
Yeah, it was a black woman.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
She got something to worry about now. Hey, she do got something to worry about, man, because she a black woman, number one. And he was a veteran, number two. Even though he shouldn't have been walking up on her and making her feel.
Let me be clear on something before I go to OG.
Okay.
We're not in the 1970s. This ain't Oprah Winfrey. Hold on, this ain't Oprah. This ain't Oprah Winfrey.
The color
in
purple.
Color period. This ain't. Let me finish. This ain't Oprah Winfrey on Color Purple, and her and this white man into it. That ain't what we're dealing with here. This here is a situation in 2026. People are having confrontations, and cameras are out. And people know that if you run up in this courtroom wasting the money of the state, that this could be a bad situation for whoever's in office. So I don't see them just to push her into that courtroom trying to defend herself on this. If she get a good attorney, which she will, I don't know, because she at Walmart, she might have to have a public offender.
Anyway, guys, that is it for us, guys, this morning. I'm on California time. It is 3:50 a.m. in the morning. I greatly appreciate y'all being on here with me, guys. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a blessed day.